Reseller Clickbait Podcast, Episode 8.
So this is obviously a very special episode. If you guys see the
Yes.
thumbnail, Ken came up with this amazing idea. He brought it up to me, and I was like, let's do it. Ken, tell us a little bit about what made you come up with this idea.
Well, when we are recording this right now on June the 5th, it is 1 year kind of anniversary, I guess you would say, of the reseller rally that was held in Cincinnati last year. What a great time. Just a perfect event all the way around. First time I met this guy right here, Jimmy. And so I thought, hey, let's kind of do like a little bit of a reunion sort of a show, get some of the folks that were there, get their experiences. And everybody that we asked was super excited and on board. So kick back if you're listening while you're doing this. This will be a great listen for you. So who we got coming up first, Jimmy?
First up, we're going to go with one of the guys that put this together. We're going to talk to John, Cincinnati Picker, and we're going to roll right into that conversation right now. What is going on, everybody? We are here with John, the Cincinnati Picker, one of the big hosts at that Cincinnati reseller rally. Sorry about that. We are going to ask him some questions about his experience at the rally and putting it together and some of the fun things that happened. And one of the things that Ken wanted to bring up, Ken, talk about the dating of the rally.
Well, you know, it was technically the 2020 reseller rally that was held in June of 2021. Yep. Basically, COVID kind of knocked it for a loop. So tell us about some of those challenges then of just having to deal with a whole year out from the original date.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me, guys. And I want to thank both of you for making the trip to Cincinnati and coming to the rally. It was awesome meeting both of you guys. I wish I would have had time to, get to know both of you more at the rally. There were so many people there. So it was, tough to make connections with everybody. But I feel like for the most part, I at least got to talk to everybody a little bit. So we made the plans to do the rally. Like Pete and I, Craigslist Hunter, talked for weeks about it and, figured out a date and everything. And we announced it February 2020. Like we announced it, we put tickets on sale and everything. And I think 2 weeks later, lockdowns, everything, like, the whole world just turned upside down. And it was like, okay, great. So we obviously paid for the boat. So the big thing was, the river boat and like the dinner and the cruise and all this stuff. And the way I wanted to do it was just like pay for it so that it was all taken care of. So we talked to the boat when everything went sideways and they had to shut down. So it was a constant communication with those guys, with the boat of like, when can you reopen? What's going to happen? All this stuff. And they were super flexible. They're like, look, we can't refund you, but as we can just postpone it to whatever date you want. So we ended up making 4 to 5 new dates with the boat because they had so many weddings and different things. Like we would just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until finally we landed on, I guess it was June 5th, 2021, a full like 16 months after we announced, something like that. Yeah. So it took a lot of planning. A lot of people did a lot of hard work, but it finally came together and we all had an awesome time. It's a lot of fun.
And those tickets, like when you went live with it, they sold fast too, right? Like before everybody knew it, like you put them live for sale and they went fast, right? So you had that.
I think within
a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Within 24 hours, we sold 95% of the tickets, something like that. But then over the course of that year, a lot of people couldn't make the new date. So we refunded and then resold maybe another like 50 tickets. It was a lot of that. So like the guest list was changing all the time.
That was one of the big benefits of COVID for me was I got in that second wave of folks because I heard about it a little bit late, like the tickets were sold and gone. And I was just bummed. And then when it got changed, I seen you on a live and you were like, hey, there's tickets opening up. for people that can't make it, and I jumped right on it. And so
I get to blame
thank you,
John
COVID.
for this friendship. I have to blame John for this friendship now.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, John. I appreciate it, man.
My pleasure.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I forgot. So the moral of that story is if you need something coordinated and for it to go all haywire and be corrected, John is your guy.
Call John.
Guy, right? He's like, no, don't call me. So I wanted to talk about one of the cool things that I thought that happened at the rally, and you did a video about it, was that surprise Funko Pop, man.
Oh, that was crazy.
That was good. Tell us about that. Like, that was so awesome that guy did that.
Yeah. So he came from Baltimore, and he and his wife had the idea to make these Funko Pops. They made one of me and Lonnie, and they wanted to prank Lonnie too somehow, but like couldn't figure out exactly how to do it, so they ended up just giving it to him. But yeah, they coordinated and figured out, what neighborhood I was going to be garage sailing in with my wife, and she was part of it. And went to the neighborhood and just went to a random house, like, hey, we want to pull this prank, can we do it? And they're like, yeah. So I knew nothing about it. And I'm
like
going
any reseller, right? Like Tractor Beam Funko Pops.
Oh,
right?
I'm in the mind. Yeah. Like my wife tries to talk to me in sales and she's like, yeah, you're just in another world. I just get laser focused on like what I'm looking at, like just trying to find something to flip. And yeah, I saw the Funko Pop table. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And I saw the top of the box was like Cincinnati Reds, and I was like, okay, and I didn't recognize it, and I pick it up and look at it, and it just didn't register. I was like, what's happening right now?
Like who am I looking at?
Yeah, and he's just staring at me like, yep, I made this. It was epic, absolutely epic, really cool.
For anybody that didn't see it, what was the Funko Pop?
The Funko Pop was Cincinnati Picker, and the YouTuber, it's Brainstorm Rodeo, super nice guy. He did a whole video about like how he made the thing and made the box, and it's just absolutely incredible. I wish I had it here. It's actually at my shop. But yeah, just a really, really cool thing that he did. It was amazing.
Yeah, I loved that video. I thought that was such an awesome idea that he came up with. And the look on your face, like you said, you were looking at it like, well, wait a second. What?
Yeah.
I have questions.
Right. Yeah, it broke my brain. Like, it does not compute. I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, it was like a Matrix moment or something like that, right?
It really was. It was a Matrix moment. It's a good way to describe it.
That's awesome. This next question that Ken has to ask is the question that we all want to ask. I'm going to let him take it, though, because it was to me the pinnacle of the entire trip.
So the whole weekend was great, just filled with good events and stuff that went on at the hotel. And then we had the boat ride. The dinner was great, and then it got to the evening with the DJ upstairs, and then came the Ikea Bag challenge, which was talked about for months. Explain that whole process of what went on, and you were like DJing the event, which was cool.
You did a great job DJing that
to have you doing that. So tell us about the Ikea Bag challenge and what went on.
Yeah, so my wife's friend is actually a DJ, super nice guy. So he brought all of his equipment and was DJing, and I told him what I wanted to do, and I said, hey, I kind of want to MC this, and he had a microphone. It worked out great. So I was trying to think of different games and stuff to do just to have some fun with everybody. And like we did the first game we did, we had the sheets of paper and you had to like go meet different people that like check different boxes and we gave out gift cards.
Yes.
So that was one game. And then I think the IKEA Bag fashion show was the only other game that we did.
Yes.
So I had a lot of different games like throughout. I had 16 months to think about this. So I had lots of different ideas. I am an idea guy. I have tons of ideas, but very few of them are good. So usually what I do is I'll run them by my wife or a friend, like, hey, what do you think about this? And more often than not, they're like, that's a bad idea.
I want to know.
I ran through a lot of.
How many included man overboard is what I want. How many of your events included someone going overboard?
None of my ideas for man overboard.
Okay. Sorry.
But yeah, I was just thinking about IKEA bags and like we need to do like a IKEA bag fashion show because I've seen people cut up IKEA bags and make clothing out of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
we've got people that have had a couple drinks. We give them a pair of scissors and we say, you got 5 minutes. Like, I'm sure some fun stuff would ensue. So we got people from the audience. We had 3 different teams. I think each team had like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
And people were like taken to it, which was awesome. And they had a lot of fun with it. And he was playing, I'm trying to remember what song he played when they were cutting up the bags. But yeah, we put 5 or 10 minutes on the clock and they went crazy with it. Every team had guys and girls, but all the girls made the guys wear the outfits, which was just perfect. Absolutely hilarious. And they all had a good time with it. They didn't take themselves seriously. Like, they were strutting their stuff on the catwalk while he was playing.
Yes.
I think it was like, I'm too sexy for my shirt.
I'm too sexy. Yes, that was it. Oh, and
that right set Fred or something like that.
It was just an epic event. What the folks did with building these costumes in that short amount of time, just to come up with the idea and then implement it that quick. And
I'm pretty sure Tim still has the nippleless shirts in his closet.
Does he still have it? That's fantastic.
So the winners ended up to be Tim over the years and Kat the Nurse Flipper were on the team, and the outfit that they made, Jimmy had mentioned this nippleless shirt, and he had like almost like a diaper thing on, and
lipstick
they put
on
lipstick all. He was just and the way that Tim played that, going strutting down the aisle was just and then you had Joey Bada Bing.
Joey did
Joey
was a bride,
sure.
And their idea of throwing out the confetti, I think that was Joey, wasn't it? Or was that Tim with the confetti?
That was Joey. Yeah.
Just a great event, because I mean, what represents us resellers more than the blue Ikea bag? When you're out at the thrift store or the yard sales and you see someone with the bag, you're like, oh well, there's competition over there. So just a fun event, a great night. The weather was perfect on the boat.
And you forgot you were on a boat though. That was the only thing. Like, you were having so much fun in the DJ and everything, and then like you were emceeing. It was so much fun. Like, you looked around like, oh yeah, I'm on a boat.
Right. Because it's a river boat, so it's not speeding down the river that fast. Like, we were going pretty slow, but like, it was just so cool seeing the city all lit up at night and like the skyline and everything. It was and the weather was great. The weather was another thing where like we were kind of gambling, you know what I mean? Because the top deck is what made it really fun. But if it was raining, like, we would have had to stay inside and kind of pivot things. So like, we had a game plan, like a backup plan of like, okay, if it doesn't work, and honestly, you guys don't know this. So that boat that we were on, we were not meant to be on. They have 2 different boats. They have a smaller boat. The one we were supposed to be on, a smaller boat that holds about 300 people. Yeah, the one we were on is their bigger boat that holds about 700 people. And in order to get that boat, you need to guarantee 500 people. Gotcha. So when we originally booked it, we had the smaller boat because we only had about 200 people. And because of COVID and cancellations and different things, we locked in that bigger boat. Like, they just went ahead and upgraded us for that bigger boat, which was amazing. Like, we had a bunch more space. Like, people weren't cramped. I mean, it was nice.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
I was gonna say that was perfect. I mean, I guess I could imagine the boat being smaller, but I couldn't imagine it being smaller because like, it was just such a perfect setting. And like you said, like, every once in a while, even if you did forget that you were on a boat, you would look up and see that skyline, and it was just perfect. Everything was beautiful skyline, all lit up, and the night was nice. I had one last question I wanted to ask you about, because I've been following you for a long time. I know Ken has as well, and like I noticed while we were there, you like just had a video like kind of go viral while we were there. Like, that was a pretty crazy moment for you that time, like in your own channel history, right? Like, you had a video go pretty crazy right before that, right?
Yeah, I don't know when it really took off, but yeah, at this point, it's over 4 million views, which is crazy to me. Like, it's just nuts. And
just
it's really
like this video is going to get.
Yeah, just like this.
100%. Yeah, this is going through the roof for sure. My wife watches that the viral video, and she's like, I don't get it. Like, there's nothing special here. Like, it's dumb. She makes fun of my videos. But yeah, that was crazy. And like, I wish I could repeat it, but that's just the nature of YouTube. Like, it's catching lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was fun to see for sure. I mean, I've done YouTube now for 5 years, and it's a numbers game. You make enough videos, some of them are going to go off, that kind of thing. You got to keep plugging away, keep your head down, and keep making videos. That's the name of the game for sure.
Yeah. And like, that's what's crazy about how much has changed since then. That's kind of what we want to talk about. Like, your channel, like, it's gone crazy since then, and that's so awesome. I'm so happy to see the numbers that you're pulling are amazing to me. And then Ken has one more question. I just want to ask you about that because, like, I couldn't even imagine what your life is like with that kind of viral video and the way your channel's going. So I just had to pick your brain a little bit about that, man. Ken's got more questions.
Not only the boat was one of the events. We had kind of a meetup the Friday night, and it was at I shouldn't even give them any advertisement, but the Hofbräu. Okay, it was at this German style restaurant in there in the Cincinnati area, wherever it was at. And we show up, and we were there, what, Jimmy, maybe 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And John stands up and he says, they don't want money.
Yeah. Let him tell us.
Drink. We're going back to the hotel. And so tell about, like, what went on there with that, and that you just stood up and basically gave them.
We're just kind of like, okay, we're leaving. What's going on? We're leaving. Okay. Like, we don't know exactly like how it went down. We just knew we were leaving.
Yeah. So there's a huge backstory to that. Okay. Months and months and months prior, I was trying to think of a way to where, because I knew everybody was coming in town Friday night. So it's like, let's have a get together. Let's all hang out. Like, let's do something. There's not a lot of places that can accommodate, 100 plus, close to 200 people. So I had contacted the Hofbräu house, and I was like, hey, can you do groups? And they're like, no, we're not doing that because of COVID or whatever. So this place, I've been there several times over the years. It's been there for decades. They have a massive, massive, massive outdoor area. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it could hold 500 people. It's huge. In addition to their indoor area, which is also huge, massive, really, really big. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, we're going to be bringing, a good number of people. Like, okay, fine. That's, whatever. Like, we'll just seat you. I'm like, okay. So I don't know if they were taking the COVID rules too seriously or what it was. So everybody came in, got their tables. And when it started happening naturally, oh, I recognize Jimmy, I recognize Ken, and you would get it from your table and go talk to some different people. So the manager comes up to me and is like, hey, everybody has to stay at their table. They can't leave their table because of COVID or whatever. I'm just like, seriously, man? He's like, yeah, you can't move around. I'm like, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk to everybody. Yeah. So he leaves, comes back, and he's like, yeah, you guys can't do it anymore. Like, we'll have to ask you to leave. I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, like, you stay at your table or you leave. And that's when I'm like, all right, see you. Like, we'll just leave. Like, if you're going to not let us talk to literally anyone and like not even move, we're just going to leave.
Yeah. Great decision.
I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I was incredibly frustrated. And then other people, like everybody that was with us, in the group was coming up and saying like, yeah, they're not letting me move. And like, it was a total mess. I'll tell you what happened. By the way, that was a total bad planning on my part. I should have just figured out and talked with the hotel because they had the big bar, which worked out much, much better. The saving grace is that it happened kind of early in the night. This was like 7:30, something like that. We had plenty more time to make things happen. So when everything went down at the Hofbräu house, Pete, the Craigslist hunter, went back to the hotel and went to the bartender and was like, look, there's 100 plus people coming here. Because they were supposed to close at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
The bar was supposed to close at like 9 o'clock. Pete greased his palms. Yeah, Pete greased his palms, and he's like, "Hey, can you stay open till like 12?" And the guy is like, "Yep, like we'll take care of you."
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, really cool. So I came back, and Pete just like was like telling me like, "Yeah, it's taken care of. Like, we did this and that and the other." I'm like, "That's awesome." So
That's an awesome.
It made it work.
That's so awesome.
It couldn't have been a better evening coming back to the hotel, which was very accommodating. That just the seating that was there, the little areas you could sit around and just talk and mingle with folks. And I actually ended up eating dinner at the Hofbrauhaus with a few, because there was no place to sit at that point when we got there.
Yeah.
Because everybody was already there. And some other YouTubers had said, hey, come over here, you can sit with us. And so we ended up having a nice dinner before we left, and got to be really good friends with some folks that you had seen on YouTube. And so got to eat dinner with them, and then go back to the hotel and just spend the rest of the evening mingling and meeting, and just a casual atmosphere. And the later it got, and the more that was consumed, it got even funner. Is funner a word? Funner. It got more funner.
Sure.
It was more gooder.
Speaking of more that got consumed, though, tell about that bartender. Like that, he was like a hockey goalie, spinning.
Yeah,
like
he was incredible. They had a really nice bar at that hotel. It was a full wraparound bar. So they had all the drinks in the middle, and then the bar just wrapped completely around. So he was just, doing laps, basically, just working his tail off. He outworked the entire Hofbrauhaus staff. I mean, just one man was serving 100+ people drinks, and people weren't really waiting that long for drinks. I mean, I got drinks a couple times, and it was a couple minutes. Like, the guy was just seriously hustling, and the hotel staff couldn't have been better, because we were a little rowdy. If you guys remember, we were a little bit of a rowdy crowd. There was lots of different things going on. We like to have our fun, and I remember at one point in the night, there was just so many different things happening. I'm like looking for the manager, like, they're coming. I know they're coming. Like, they're about to shut this down. the exact moment, I think, is when 3 or 4 different things were happening. TRACI, God love her. TRACI's amazing. She was blowing bubbles off of like the second floor or whatever. Cameron was shouting, "I say reseller, you say rally," to everybody. That's great. And then John was skateboarding around the hotel lobby, and I'm like, this is it. This is where we get shut down. Like, it's all gonna end. But luckily, my wife had talked to the manager already and was like, "Look, when it gets out of hand, and if it's too much, like, come see us. Like, we'll take care of it. We'll shut this down." And I think the fact that she gave them an out, like, look, we have someone to go to. You know what I mean? That, like, it's a little bit somewhat under control. So yeah, it was amazing. I was so glad that everybody was allowed to have fun, because, like, the management could have been like, "Guys, like, it's too much. Like, we're supposed to close the bar at 9. We stayed up until 12. But yeah, they were awesome. Like, kudos to them. They really extended the leash. You know what I mean? Like, they were super, super cool with everybody, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And, they saved the day for sure. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
John, I want to thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on this podcast and reliving some of those awesome moments at the rally. We obviously, it's going to be a memory that me and Ken remember for the rest of our lives. Like, it was so much fun. And we enjoyed meeting you there for sure.
Definitely.
And this podcast is going to have a lot of other people that were there, and we're going to talk with them and their experiences. Before we take off to the next guest, John, anything you want to say in closing?
Yeah, a couple things, actually. First, thank you for having me on, and thank you for making the trip out there. Like, it makes me so happy that you guys had fun. That's what the whole event was supposed to do. It was like connect people, network, and just resellers having a good time. The only reason we had that rally to begin with is because Pete, the Craigslist hunter, organized the first one in Chicago way back in 2017, 5 years ago. Pete did the very first reseller rally in Chicago, and I went to it and attended and met a ton of people that I'm still friends with to this day, and had a great time. And he and I became friends and have remained friends over the years, and we were kicking the tires a few years ago, like, hey, should we do this again? What should it look like? How should we do it? And that's why it happened, is because he wanted to do it to begin with. So kudos to Pete.
Yep.
Well, and definitely thank you for hosting it. It's nice, got Cincinnati Picker, got to be in the Cincinnati area. That was great for me, being in Ohio as well. It was a short trip, no flights involved. So thank you for sure for being part of the organization of that, to put that together, and just a great time. And so thank you. I thank you, as I'm sure everybody else does as well.
Thank you, Ken. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
That's a whole nother topic. The next rally.
Yeah.
But I won't go there. I won't go there.
I got a plan, John, I want to talk to you about.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
All right, guys. Again, John, thank you so much. And we're going to go on to the next guest.
Coming up next year, when you think about fun at the rally, you got to think about this crew right here, the nonstop party of Cameron, Danica, and TRACI. Let's hear about their remembrances of the Reseller Rally.
Hey.
Listen, there's going to be no intro, guys. We're already full into this conversation about the rally, and we're going to call. What do you guys want to be called? The Reseller Rally Bike Crew, the Party Crew, the Bubble Crew, you say Reseller, I say Rally Crew.
I think it's rejects.
Yeah, I think
okay.
So.
I didn't want to go there.
How about the oddballs?
Just a quick setup here. We've got Danica, Lady Luck Junk. We've got Cameron, Gravity Goods, and we've got TRACI Parts.
Woo! Wait.
Here, reliving the Reseller Rally from 1 year ago. Actually, it was 1 year ago today that it started, when we're doing this recording. So Jimmy and I, we made some popcorn. We're just going to sit back and listen to you guys reminisce about all the antics. So somebody jump in there and start talking.
I think you took the easy route. I would like a list of questions, please.
I demand a list.
I mean, what questions? So what happened on the bike ride then? Because you guys got some, was it scooters or bikes that you guys got? And you
bikes.
Can we back it up like a week?
Beep beep.
Yes. Yeah. Let's hear the story. Yeah, okay, when I think about, we invited this panel right here. When I thought about the fun that was had at the rally, the first group that came to mind was these folks right here. They were the life of the party the whole time, especially at the hotel when we were back, when there might have been some adult beverages flowing and just a great time. So yeah, back it up a week and let's start your Reseller Rally.
I'd like to say I don't partake in alcoholic beverages, so that's a lie.
Okay.
I think what she just said is a lie.
Okay. Or that.
So Danica,
now we gotta get a lie detector machine up in here.
You talked about backing it up.
I'm gonna back it up about 3 years.
Let me go get a drink. Hang on.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I started reselling, and I was lonely, and I started being on YouTube, and then during the pandemic, like I started going on lives and meeting people, but nobody like close. And I kept just being like, please, I need a friend. And then I don't know how it happened, but somehow TRACI was like, I'm in Austin, you're in Fort Worth.
Well, actually, I had tickets to the Reseller Rally when they first announced it. Yep. And then the pandemic happened, and that was kind of sad and depressing. So when they reopened it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going. I already have my ticket, like I'm in. And Danica reached out, and she knew I was going, and we had never met or hardly talked, really. Highs and chats and whatever.
But times have changed.
Very high.
Hi, Cameron. Hi, Jimmy. Hi,
Right.
Mr. Bill.
Nice to meet you.
So she's like, let's go. I was planning on flying, and she's like, let's go together and share a room. And I instantly go, no. Because my instinct is to always say no, because you can always come back and say yes later, but you've got that no done,
Right.
But then I thought about it, like we could save money, I don't know.
Tripped on our way there.
Yeah.
So you guys carpooled, right? You guys like road tripped up, right?
Hardcore. Yeah.
Drove from Texas. Yes.
I picked her up in Fort Worth. I was in Austin at the time. Yeah.
How did Cameron become part of the? What do we
decide
to name you guys?
I infiltrated their.
You infiltrated.
Well, we were sitting at the bar.
No, TRACI, back it up.
Okay.
I came solo, like a little lone, sad, pathetic
You weren't sad at all.
Oregonian. And I came on a Thursday night, flew here, and flew there, whatever, in Cincinnati. And I was
You
like,
should have came on the Thursday of the rally, not the previous Thursday. You wouldn't have been as lonely.
That's right. I became friends with a lot of people in the lobby. But anyway, yeah. So I went down to the lobby because believe it or not, like, it's weird because, right, I make videos and I'm pretty a social butterfly, people say. But really, deep down, if I don't know people, like, it's awkward for me to like join a group and like not know anyone. So I figured, what's gonna make me feel more comfortable? A couple brewskis. So I went to the bar to get a drink, and in comes, pushing their little pull cart, Danica and Tracy. And it was like one of those moments in a movie where like you're best friends already, even though we never met.
That's awesome.
And we just like ran up to each other and we're like, hey, how's it going? And then I went and got them.
Danica, what did we come in singing? Do you remember?
We
like
came in like a wrecking ball.
Yep.
They do not give you a chance to be shy or anything or think it's awkward. There's no chance. You had no chance.
We stayed the night in Arkansas and went to the Bends and thrifted, and then we stayed the night in Memphis and we partied.
With like baseball teams, okay?
Yeah, it was so fun. It was
didn't go to Nashville as well.
We went to Coyote Ugly, and Tracy got pulled up on the stage.
I did,
and we can't talk about what happened.
No, that's it. That's it.
That's where that story ends.
When we rolled in, we were
that's for another podcast.
But that's like pre-reseller rally. That was like the tailgate party. Right?
Yeah, we were beat.
Well, I remember Cameron coming up to the bar though, and he was hungry. And what do? I feed people. That's my specialty. And I didn't have a lot to offer being in a hotel room, but I had stuff to offer. So he
healthy
was happy
stuff too.
And then he was like, I think I won his heart over.
Yeah, food, of course, yeah. And I won y'all's heart over.
And I came back down, and y'all had drinks lined up. Free drinks, free drinks.
Hey, you can get better than that.
And then we ended up at the casino.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about that part.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We went to get food.
Yes, we
there was no food.
Right.
That's true.
Later, Tracy fed him. And we got to like really like, it was just like.
We have different stories. That's all I'm saying.
That's great.
I got proof.
I'm pretty sure they claimed you, Cameron. They're like, Cameron's coming with us.
Instant.
He is now part of this crew.
Yeah, it was good times. Didn't we have a cult at some point?
No, I didn't join that cult.
I know
y'all did.
Yeah, I remember that shenanigans going on right there.
Yeah,
we went to the night to the dinner. We got in Brian's car because Tracy knew Brian. Sir buys a lot.
Mr. buys a lot.
I think it was a clown car.
Yeah, we were like, his son had rented him his teeny tiny car, and he was so mad. I can't believe he got me this little car.
He goes, "This was a joke. This is on purpose. He's just trying to piss me off."
I'm looking around my shed to find a little toy car that's about that size because it was about this big.
I used to have micro machines right here. They're gone though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Danica and I were
showed up, and people were coming out mad.
Oh yeah, as we're driving up, everyone's leaving, and we're like,
that's at the Hofbräu house on a Friday night? Yes, that seems to be a reoccurring theme with guests so far. Yeah,
but I didn't care because I actually like being at the hotel room because when I get anxiety, or the lobby or bar, whatever you want to call it, when I get anxiety, I want to escape for a minute and kind of regather my thought because I'm an extrovert, but I have introverted tendencies.
Are you sure you don't want to just go to the second floor and blow bubbles instead or something?
Well, if you ask some people, I might have taken like 7 guys up there. I don't know. There's some crazy people went to this rally that spread bad rumors.
All I have with the bubbles. If it involved me, it was just to be fed food.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
She thrifted those bubbles on the road trip. She's like, I'm going to pass these out or something. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Everything is a good idea to Danica, I swear.
Well, Cameron and I were going to one of the rooms for something. And we both looked down and we looked at each other and I said, should we say something? And he's like,
This is what could I possibly say?
And that was awesome.
Alcohol makes you think that people care, when they don't.
I was like, everyone here's my best friend,
Right.
so I'm just gonna randomly become a Saturday Night Live cheerleader.
They're gonna love it, right?
And
No, they
people-
don't.
I mean, not everyone yelled back, but enough people did to where I said it twice.
So
What did I
let's
say,
hear it,
Danica?
Cameron. We'll answer.
What did I say, Danica?
Yeah, what did he say up from the what balcony were you on? What floor were you on?
Just a second.
I think we
Just
were
a
on the
second.
4th floor because our first room was like moldy.
Yeah, it was. We complained, which we gave up a great view for a better smelling room, so it worked.
I never knew that part.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
What did Cameron yell from the second, third, or fourth floor?
Let's
I
hear
say
it.
reseller. You say rally. Reseller.
Rally.
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 I know you're saying that right
Rally.
The most enthusiastic crowd. I say reseller. You say rally. Reseller.
Rally.
Oh, rally.
Hey, there we go. That's we talked
my
to
timing is off.
John Cincinnati Picker earlier, and he was pretty sure when the bubble started to come over the railing and Cameron was up there with his cheerleader getting the crowd pumped up that was it. We were getting thrown out of the hotel at that
But
point.
we were quiet because our mouths were busy with blowing the bubbles. We weren't yelling anything.
And there was someone else skateboarding down there while you guys were doing that too. So he's like, "This is just, they're gonna kick us out. We're done here."
Yeah, they never even complained, I don't
No, that
think.
was awesome. That's what I was gonna say. Like, getting kicked out of that restaurant was probably the best thing that happened, right? Like, it led
Yeah.
to an
Yeah,
awesome
because
night.
we were going to get kicked out at some point, obviously.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Might as
It's
well
better
do
that
it
it
right in
happened
the
with
beginning.
Yeah.
And then
And
a
I
couple of people like ordered pizzas, like Larry way out, and I know what other people did, and it just became so cool. Like,
Yeah.
Some other unnamed people that we
You know,
don't.
it's kind of,
We
this will
don't
be the
know.
first time. My Sonia, my wife, bought a bunch of pizzas that night too.
Really?
And sometimes she'd be like,
there was a lot.
Larry
It's
got
like-
all the credit for those.
Larry's getting all, but you know what?
Larry's such a
Just
great
hush,
guy.
Sonia. Just hush.
Let him have his moment.
Right. Well, Larry took the time out he knew I couldn't have that pizza, so he ordered me a salad even. I'm like, dude,
No.
I don't even know you. This is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's what it felt like to me, like meeting a lot of people. It was almost like I already knew everyone. It was
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Larry's a guy right there. That's a perfect example of the rally. I'm still in contact with Larry. I didn't really know him before, met him at the rally, and we're still in contact. We'll video chat, from time to time, and that was one of the big takeaways from the rally. You folks right here, just
Yeah,
meeting
yeah.
everybody, making those
Yeah.
connections, and Cameron and I are back
Right.
and forth. Hey, Cameron, I got to know,
Like-
do you still have my business card?
That's a great question.
Uh-huh.
There's a story behind that, right?
We don't want to go down that road, do we?
Yeah, it's somewhere.
But you were saying, Tracy?
Well, that's the coolest part of it is making, like, Danica and I wouldn't have such a strong friendship without it. And Cameron, if we, there
I
you
got
go.
it.
That's
Close enough. Okay.
Here, I got.
okay.
And
For
being
those
a
of you
reseller-
that are listening to the podcast that didn't see that, when I asked about the business card, Danica came out with Paul Philly Flipper's sticker that
Who?
she had.
Who's that?
Some.
This one.
Did you guys realize that Paul was that tall?
Yeah.
That
Well,
poor
I mean,
guy got that for. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Eric
Did
OBX.
you know Tracy was that tall?
I did not.
I did not. Nope.
Did you guys know I was that short?
I did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, we had
I
figured
had
that
an
out.
idea. I had an idea.
So go ahead, Tracy. I keep interrupting you.
No. Oh, I was just talking about the friendships developed there. Like Cameron, it just happened. If all of those things wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't feel so tight with Cameron either.
Yeah.
I mean, now that we've had therapy on the couch with Cameron and Danica, like everything, we have to be friends now because we know too much.
Like, I don't want to kill you.
I know, right?
She may come across as like mean or whatever, but
I am.
We went to a garage sale and there was a Jiffy steamer, and she had been telling me to get one. I'm like, I'm gonna get this cheap one that someone else recommended. I think it was Kent.
Yeah.
And
thanks a lot, Kent.
Anyway, she's like, there's a Jiffy steamer over there, and I was looking at something else, and anyway, she's like taking it to the checkout, and I was like, oh yeah, the Jiffy steamer. And she's like, well, these resell for a lot.
Well, I told her, I said, I said, you've been wanting one. It's $10. Like that's a bargain. You know, I paid over $200 for mine.
But that's friends, you know?
And she showed no interest. I was just like, that's so odd. I'm going to buy it then and I'll resell it for $150. I don't care.
I'm a horrible garage sale negotiator.
And so I'm getting ready to pay the lady. She goes, wait, what? I go, you didn't want it. She goes, but I do. I go, then buy it.
$150.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what friends are for.
Exactly.
No,
Finder's fee.
Well, when we go visit each other, because she just left my house for the weekend, you know, we go thrift together here and there. We try to make sure the other person makes at least their gas money back, you know.
Right. Yeah.
That's smart.
And all of that came from the rally. You guys really kind of made that bond and that connection.
Yeah, solely from the rally.
That's great. That's
the rest is history. And there's still history, man.
So if we end up in jail, we're gonna blame the rally, really.
Well, at least you got Cameron to bail you out.
Yeah,
right?
He will.
I'd have to fly. I mean,
he'd have to go gamble for the money first.
Cameron.
I need to read a book or two then.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to win money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
someday I want to hear this casino story.
Yeah.
We'll get in that.
I lost money. That's all there is to know, Ken. I lost money.
No, there's way more than that.
Well, good thing for you all, I was going to say about the therapy part is because I was drinking, I don't remember what we were talking about.
Good.
So
There
your
you go.
secrets are safe with me because they're safe from myself even.
I don't tell my secrets. I just listen to others. I'm smart.
So besides your thrifting en route there, did you go sourcing in Cincinnati at all? Did you hit any yard sales? Did you go with anybody outside your group there? Did you have any great finds that weekend?
We weren't invited with anyone, so we just went, the two of us, Danica and I.
And I wasn't invited, so I went with, even if I got invited, I'm pretty sure I would say, actually, I might have been invited. Paul might have asked me if I wanted to go, but I was probably hungover. So
you slept.
I slept. And also I was on vacation. Like
but
for
you
me,
also
it was,
flew, and you didn't have a lot of bags.
Yeah, so for me, I was like, I wanted to thrift while I was there. I told myself I was going to, but then once I got there, I'm like, heck no, I'm never going to see half of these people again. And if I do, it'll be years down the road. So I just want to have fun and hang out with people. And so, no, I didn't do any thrifting. So what did you ladies find?
They have great yard sales, though.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And the weather was so perfect. Like down here,
we were,
I was sweating. Like
this past weekend, we stunk so bad because there was a 90-mile yard sale. We gave up after a while. We're like, let's just
90 degrees. 90
Gave up after 8 miles.
I was just going to say, it was a 90-mile yard sale. They made it 9 miles.
No, but we've got some great places to thrift down there, so it worked out.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I got to see Tracy's honey hole.
All of them.
There's another show.
Jimmy was supposed to show me his honey hole a couple months ago.
But he dished you.
But that's going to happen at the end of June, I hope. Are you going to be around?
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And now for some reason I wasn't following you on Instagram, so that was terrible.
Oh, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If you're not following Danica on Instagram, follow her. Lady Luck Junk.
Yeah.
I'm about to start Whatnot like everybody else. Why not Whatnot?
Why not? Whatnot?
Or as Jimmy says, Lady Lunk Junk.
Yeah. You know, I got a story about that. So I started my reselling business. I was still doing my other job, and I got a $400 winning lottery ticket. and I went to the bins and bought all this stuff. That's how I came up with Lady Luck Junk. And I was gonna have myself one of them necklaces made that spells out.
Yeah.
That's a lot of letters.
It's gonna be like
nipple piercings are gonna have to be added or something.
All right.
You're like LL Cool J, Lady Luck Cool Junk. LL Cool J.
It's misspelled.
You should get a grill.
It just says junk.
Junk.
Yeah.
So I knew this would be a blast, and this is fun, but we need to move along, get to the next guest.
I don't
wrap it
understand
up.
that. I'm all up in my own head. I don't get it.
And so it was great to meet all of you folks at the rally and those continued relationships that we've kept up with, and hopefully there'll be another rally.
Next up, we have one of my favorite people I met there. We had a really good conversation with this fella. I know Ken got to talk to him. We were all in a group talking to him. We're going to talk with Adam over at BALDYPAL Picking. All right, everyone. We are here with Adam, BALDYPAL Picking. Adam, what's up, man?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing tonight? Thanks so much
Good.
for asking me to come on.
For sure, man. You were a big part of that rally. We want to know, let everybody know who you are real quick.
Absolutely. My name's Adam, but I go by BALDYPAL across the entire internet. My YouTube channel is BALDYPAL Picking, just like your best friend who ain't got no hair, BALDYPAL. And I've been reselling for like 8 years, and I started YouTube maybe 2 years ago, but it's been a blast, man. I love reselling, and I love YouTube, meet a lot of really cool friends, and honestly, that's part of what we're here to talk about tonight, isn't it?
For sure.
Yes.
So like you guys heard, across the entire interwebs, BALDYPAL Picking.
That's right.
Ken,
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever.
All of them.
now Ken has a question that he wants to ask everybody. It has to do with distance. Ken, what question you got about distance?
Well, I like to know, there was people from all over the place. Where did you come from? Where do you originate? And how did you get to the rally?
Well, one day, my mom and my dad. Oh, wait, you don't want to go that far back. So I'm from Columbus, Georgia, and I drove the whole way. I don't even remember how many hours it was, but
Wow.
I went to Atlanta, to Nashville, to Ohio, and the whole way I sourced, and I had a blast. I made it a 2-day trip.
Wow.
So it wasn't just like a 6 or 7 or 8 hour drive, because I literally took the entire 2 days to make the trip and sourced the whole way to every Goodwill, at every Salvation Army, at every thrift store I could find on the map, all the way up there. And it was a blast. I had an awesome time.
Now,
I
while
remember
you were-
seeing those videos of your sourcing on the way up. That was great.
Yep.
While you were at the rally, who were some of the people you got to actually source with?
Oh, sourced with? Oh, let's see. I went out on my own at the yard sales because I got up extra early because I knew there was a bunch of resellers in town. So I went in the opposite direction and I got up extra early and I beat a lot of people out there. And then on my way back, when I was hitting yard sales on the way back, that's when I was running into other people. Okay. So I didn't actually go thrifting or sourcing with anyone, but I ran into you guys. I ran into John Cincinnati Picker,
Right.
a lot of people, a whole lot of people.
Getting
The
up
tall
early.
guy, that really, really tall guy. What's his name?
giant.
PHLIPPER.
Yeah, he scared me.
Philly,
You had a good opportunity to meet up with part-time Picker and play the song "Gotta Be the First One" there if you got up early like that.
You did. I ran
so
into
tall.
him. He is taller than I expected him to be. But then again, that's not that hard. I'm only 5'6", so pretty much everybody was taller than me. But when I ran into Matt in the hotel for the first time, and I was shaking hands around the circle, and I got to Matt, I was like, "Oh, hello, sir. How are you?" It was a blast.
So what was your best find? Now you got out there early, so you got all the pickings early. Did you find something? Really good?
I found 3 leather Harley Davidson jackets that I was just stoked to buy. I mean, I wanted to go home with them. The guy wanted $125 per jacket. And I tried to talk him down. I even went to a yard sale across the street, and then came back like 30 minutes later because I was like, if they're still there, I'm going to see if he'll go down on price. He would not budge at all. But they were They were not brand new, but they looked really nice and in really good shape. Those were my best find that I didn't get. But, you know, the best one actually wasn't at the yard sale. Some of the best finds were at the Goodwills and things out on the way out there.
Yeah.
Found a bunch of really nice plush. Found some, I'm in electronics. I found several DVD VCR combo units. And I found one 5-disc CD changer that sold for $150 the week I got back.
Nice.
I actually really like that answer because as resellers, you come across all the time stuff that you know is your best find, but they have it priced too high. I mean, it happens
way too
all
high.
the time.
Yeah, those would have been, I mean, honestly, they would have sold easily for a minimum $150 each, but I'm part-time. I didn't want to put $125 investment per jacket just to make $30-$45.
Exactly. So another thing, you didn't travel alone. Got to, one of the great things was meeting the folks behind the camera. Got to meet your beautiful wife, Paige.
I pulled her along, kicking and screaming.
Dragged her with
I originally signed up for it as soon as the tickets went on sale, and I got that ticket. And then months and months and months went by. I'm trying to talk her into it, and she's like, "No, it's gonna be boring for me. I don't want to go." And then like sometime it took place in June, sometime in the end of April, beginning of May, I was like, "Listen, if I can get an extra ticket, I really, really want you to go with me." And she was like, and it was that, if you can get an extra ticket, she was banking on, thinking it was so late in the game, I wouldn't be able to get one, right? So I was like, okay. I called up John, or I texted him on Facebook Messenger, and I was like, man, I told my wife if I could get an extra ticket, she said she'd come with me, and this would be like the best thing in the world if you could help me pull this off. And so John helped me find an extra ticket. I think someone had canceled or something to that nature, and he reached out to me and let me know. So kicking and screaming, I pulled her along, but she had a great time meeting new faces like you two.
Yes, for sure. So give us your overall the biggest moment at the rally. What sticks in your mind the most?
Coolest thing that you remember?
The dinner boat. That dinner boat, to me, that whole dinner boat cruise was amazing. The food was great. Sitting and chatting with so many different people as you're eating dinner. Joey Bada Bing and you two and so many other people. You got Kat, the reseller, the nurse Flipper. I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing. And then you got Kayla. I mean, all of them. Dante weren't there. It was wonderful. And Ken, as you've said before, meeting people that you had seen their videos, but then you're looking at them face to face. It's just, you're kind of in awe of it all, right? But then everybody gets a couple of drinks in them, and you go up on the top level of the boat, and
next
somebody
thing
starts
you know, you're wearing an IKEA dress.
You're wearing an IKEA dress and an IKEA bikini, and that just tops the whole cake, right? Cherry on top of the whole thing. So that was the best part of the whole ordeal.
I want to know, like, was there anything that you took in from like a content creator? Because I noticed your channel has grown quite a bit since then. You've changed a lot of stuff. I think that you used to do on eBay. Like, you've moved heavier into electronics. Yeah. There's something that you took in while you were there that you might have learned from an experienced reseller or YouTuber that you put into what you're doing now?
Absolutely. Taking short clips and just not doing a whole lot of editing, but just making it nice and meaningful in your video, and you'll still make great YouTube content. Edits are fun and whatnot and everything, but just taking your meaningful clips and putting them together in a good manner, and you'll still have a great video, and people will come in and watch it, right? I also learned several other things about, like you said, focus on what you know best versus trying to spread yourself too thin in order to get quantity in your store versus quality in your store. So lots of great takeaways. You just sit down and you talk with some of the best people who do this, and you can't help but learn from them and take something away from it.
Right.
Yes, definitely. Those moments of just sitting there. I remember one evening sitting there with you, Jimmy, Eric, OBX Picker, and Joe Philly Picker. Yeah. Those Philly guys, you get them.
Too many Philly guys.
And just sitting there having a conversation about YouTube, about reselling, and just a great time, a wealth of experience, just with good friends who are all now good friends since the rally. So
now I want to know: is there anybody that has stuck to you like a thrift store price tag that you just ever since the rally?
I'll be honest with you.
Obviously,
a hanger on-
is there anybody that you met there that you still have a lot of contact with? You maybe talk to every day.
Absolutely, Ken, you're one of them. To be honest with you, there are people that I may have like talked to you in the comments of another video. Yeah. Or I listened to your videos and I kind of felt like I got to know you then. But then after I met you all face to face and we just clicked, I just felt like anything could come up, like a friend, and I could just hit you up on Instagram and chat with you. And Jimmy and Ken, both of you, I've asked, hey, I've got this great idea. You want to collaborate? You want to put this in a video? You want to join me on a live? And Paul's the same way. Evan, Flippy McFlipperson, and lots of other great guys and gals that I've met while I was there. I truly have met, friends for life because of that reseller rally. On a deeper level than just being comments in a video. So,
which I think was the point of the rally altogether. So, okay, Adam, this is great stuff. We're gonna wrap up this segment right here. We appreciate you coming on with us, and look for that podcast to come out. We're definitely gonna link you in the comments down below, or not in the comments. Where do you link that? In the description.
In the description. He's new at this. He doesn't do a lot of live.
I don't know,
okay.
we'll hashtags and stuff.
We'll teach him. That's why we brought Adam in. He'll tell us where to
That's right.
I will throw one last thing in there real quick, guys.
Yes.
I watched and listened to entirety the first 4 episodes, and I was mentioned in all of them. So I feel like I'm loved, and I appreciate that because that'll keep me coming back every time for sure.
Like you said, when we met at the rally, it was like we had been lifelong friends already. So
absolutely, man.
You made a name drop us for sure, man.
Thanks so much, guys, for having me on so we talk about this one more time.
Maybe
we can do it again in another year, right?
Heck
yes.
Yeah. Sounds like
I love it.
Sounds like a great idea.
I might be organizing one on my own.
Y'all have fun picking.
And we're gonna.
I don't know why you can't see.
We're gonna end this segment with the mascot that Ken made for Adam.
That's right. This is just a mini me right here. My camera's just not. There we go. Whatever. Anyway, mini me right here, sitting on my shoulder.
For those of you listening,
thanks, Ken.
It's a wresler. What wrestler is that?
I don't know. I don't even know. It's
a wrestler
me.
that had a bald head.
Anderson something another.
Put a BALDYPAL shirt on him and called it Adam. All right, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Adam, so much. We're going to go on to the next guest, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Okay, so next up is a guy I think everybody mentioned in their portion of the video here. We got Kevin, Commonwealth picker, flipper, Trash to Cash member. Let's hear what he's got to say.
All right, guys, we are here with Kevin, Commonwealth Picker. You might have seen him on Commonwealth Picker, Commonwealth Flipper. What's the other one? The Commonwealth
Auctions,
and then Trash to Cash podcast.
Auctions?
Yeah.
He is everywhere.
What's up, Kevin, real quick?
Yeah, or Facebook or TikTok or Instagram.
Yeah, everywhere, man. He's everywhere, guys.
Sure.
How many Facebook
You'd be surprised. There's so
now?
many nooks and crannies. I just have one. I see that's a promo. I like this. Garage Sale Nation, y'all. Are you both members? Jimmy, you're a mod.
Yeah, I'm a mod. I appreciate that, man.
And I'm posting a sale later this evening. That's a citywide sale. So it's coming up here in just a couple weeks. So, and that's actually
so maybe Jimmy will approve it. Maybe not though. I don't know how many he likes it. Maybe he'll just like, no, not approving that one.
Maybe I should do it under a fake account because once Jimmy sees my name, he'll be like, delete.
We actually brought you on here to help me, Kevin. I need help getting away from this.
You can mod Ken. Just make them both mods. I got all kinds of throwing out mods there. You get a mod. You get a mod.
You get him. He's the Oprah. He's the Oprah of Facebook group. No, but this show is really about the reseller rally anniversary a year ago today. While we're recording this, we were all at the rally, hanging out, having a good time. And we want to ask questions and talk about some of your experiences there. And the first thing I want to ask about, because you talk about Pete Craigslist Hunter a lot and how he was influential in what you're doing and you learned a lot from him. Was that the first time you met him there, or had you met him before?
That was absolutely the first time I met him. I met him in the bathroom walked into the bathroom, and I'm going to the bathroom. I looked to my left.
Here we got a show now,
stall.
Jimmy.
Yeah, he's in the stall right next to me. I'm like, it's Pete. I said, my wife's gonna be so jealous. I'm going to the bathroom with Craigslist, because my wife really enjoyed. She loved watching that show with me. It was, she didn't watch a lot of that stuff, but she loved Pete. She loved his accent, the whole 9 yards. So before I get out of the bathroom, Pete's already like taking selfies with my wife, but over, and I'm like, what do you do? So I'm like, all right. So I just went and talked to his wife for a while. It's pretty good. He was just hilarious. Pete was just
good guy.
You talk about sincere, awesome dude.
Yeah, I learned so much just listening to what he had a lot of great information. He was sharing. He was giving. That's giving something, right? Like I was just absorbing as much as I could, because his knowledge is through the roof. I just think that's so great. Like my first conversation with Pete, and we were both in the he was in the bathroom. Like, can I ask you a question right here, right now? That's all. And so you're in communication with him. Like you actually guys got to know each other.
Well, I mean, we talked quite a bit while we were there. It's kind of tough. I gave him a little bit of Virginia moonshine, and so every time he takes a drink of one, he'll pour a little bit out. So he'll do it at home, and every time he takes one, he'll send me a Facebook message.
That's awesome.
He's like, and he's done it 2 or 3 times. So it must be gone by now. I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while. He's always on vacation.
Yeah.
It's a super nice guy. I mean, I can't say no. And happy, man. I tell you, that's the biggest thing. I'm sorry, but he just exudes energy and excitement and positivity, and that's the kind of person you want to follow.
Well, you do that too, man. Like I said, I messaged you, like, so you're kind of carrying the torch a little bit too, like, because I watch your positivity and what you do, and that's where I got it from. Like, man, I want to focus on positivity and stay, have fun doing this. Like, that's a big part of it, is having fun, man.
Life's too short. And you know what? It's funny because I'll throw out those, speaking of you, and Ken, I cut you off a minute ago, so come on back when I'm done here. But or whenever, I don't have to be done. You can say what you're gonna say.
Our whole show is just interruptions. So
well, I'm used to that, Dave and Carrie. It's what it is.
You're the special guest, so I will step aside for you.
It's funny because you guys are the thumbnail, clickbait artists, and so I'll do those. Sometimes woe is me clickbait stuff all the time, and Pete does it too. Speaking of Pete, he did a recession and eBay, whatever, and I did one of those, and so you look at the thumbnails, but that's just not, that's not what we're talking about when we do it. And because a lot of times clickbait get those negative stories, they get the views, they get those people. There's a huge segment of the population that wants to be woe is me. The sky is falling. They want that. They just live in it. And you can get a lot of views doing that. It's just, who wants to do that the rest of their life? Life is short. I mean, you got to. If I was doing that, I go back to teaching. You want to see some sad people in the hallways. Go to a faculty meeting.
So, I just pictured you walking down the hall with your head down, just kind of shaking.
I didn't even go to faculty meetings. I'd be like, I didn't even go. I'm not kidding. I didn't go. Sometimes it was entertaining, so I'd go. It's like, see this dumpster fire. It's like watching Trash to Cash. You just want to see the fire, the dumpster fire.
Coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. So speaking of fun, like Ken's got the next question. It's a question that was all about the fun that was had in Cincinnati.
So I can just picture one of the big things of that weekend in Cincinnati was everybody that went out sourcing and yard sailing either Friday or Saturday or whenever. And I know you were in a hot group of folks. Tell us about that. Was as far as going sailing. Who did you go with? You got this whole caravan of people. Everybody gets out. They're all GoProing. They're all
antics,
recording, and so touch on your sourcing. Did you have any great finds, and who'd you go with?
So let me just say this. I love to go to garage sales. So it was like a working, vacation, if you will. And a lot of people didn't want to take advantage of it. They wanted to absorb the moment and kind of do whatever, because you had to get up to crack of dawn. Well, I don't often advertise this on my channel and talk about it, but you know, Matt's the I got to be the first one there guy, right?
Yeah,
well, let me tell you, and there's a lot of people. I get up at the crack of dawn, brother, and so I'm talking, and I'm like, Matt, you want to go? And I say, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, really? You really want to do this? Because he's in California, right? You think it's early out here? Think about what time it was for him. He just pulled up. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, what time you want to go? And he threw out a time, and I'm like, if we're gonna go, we gotta beat everybody. We gotta beat all these resellers.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what we threw out, but I told Eric, I'm like, Eric, OBX picker. I'm like, dude, you drive us? Because I'm gonna be pretty much worthless, and I know he's gonna be tired. Period. He's like, yeah, I'll drive you. I'm like, all right. He doesn't drive near fast enough for me. I'd be like zipping around Eric, just kind of like this. But I knew he'd be safe, you know.
Yeah.
And so we go out in the first little bit, you know, and it was just me and Matt and Eric hitting some good sales, having fun. And of course, you know, Kayla comes along later and puts her video out and finds this stuff behind us. But she's pretty good. So she's like, oh, you missed this. You've been like, oh, gosh, Kayla. Anyway, she's great. But let me tell you, Matt's a great picker. Everybody, you know, Eric's good picker. Kayla's a great picker. And,
you didn't mention
Paul. Paul came along a little later. You know, later in the day, we hooked up with those guys, and Kat was there. And let's see, who am I missing? Oh, the assistant was there, of course. Yep. And so we got in this huge group, and we're all finding stuff. I mean, we're all finding stuff. All of us. Tons of stuff.
I think it's a hot spot out there, right? It's like,
well, I don't even know that it really didn't even seem like that great a day. But when you're with that many good pickers, you find stuff. I mean, and everybody looks for different stuff. I'm you know, I never find a Toomey bag. Matt's like that one right there. I'm like, yeah, I like that one right there. Jeez. But it was a good time. But we beat everybody out there that day. And we were I did want to pick with SHADJUICE, and he was. I love watching his channel, but he was going up some other direction, and I'd already talked to Matt, and I'm like, well, you know. So, but that's something I want to do. So, Mike, if you're out there listening one day.
What would you say the best item that somebody found was? Like, what was probably the best thing that somebody found?
I think I found the best item in that caravan. I think I might have found the two best, but other than that, I was finding podunk rinky stuff. Actually, no, I had a few. And Kayla's going to crucify me for this because she'll be like, I found this and this. And let me tell you, she did come behind us and find stuff that we missed. And Matt was just a magnet. Matt is really good. Totally different style. And he's just like, oh, yeah, I'll take this DVD set, and it's going for $80. I'm like, what? DVD set? Toomey bags, all kinds of stuff. And just picking up great stuff. And guitar, I mean, he's picking up everything. But I got I haven't even sold it yet. I haven't even listed it yet. That's how bad my death pile is. Don't tell anybody. It was a surfing kite. And it's probably $600 or so. And then I haven't even listed it yet. And no. And I was looking low on the ground because everybody was up here, you know, all these giants, Paul and
Matt's tall.
And all these guys, you know, and Eric, huge guys. Me and Kayla are down here. Find this stuff down here. So, but that was probably the best. But somebody could probably correct me on that one because they just absolutely killed it out there. All of them did. Okay, they found a bunch of faucets. And like bathroom stuff, they just did great on that stuff. And Matt's pulling out $100 boots every 5 seconds, and I was like, geez. I found a sweet little beanie hat with pins all over it. I had no idea. I paid like $2-3. Auctioned it off, went for like $170. Apparently, there's a pin or something on there that was good.
Wow.
I don't know. It was a good time for sure.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, watching those videos, I could tell you guys had a blast together. But like you said, there was GoPros everywhere. Like GoPro over here, GoPro. You had every angle possible.
Those people, imagine those people at those yard sales. Imagine like, what is this?
I was going to say it's a bonanza for the people that were having sales that weekend to have a whole reseller convention.
Not just GoPros. It was GoPros on giants. That's what it was. I mean, just Paul walking up to your cell by himself, but you know, you throw Eric the Red in there and Matt.
Yeah, right. That's you guys look like you had a blast. And the videos that came from were all so much fun watching all those videos.
But here's something funny. No, you're gonna ask me. See, I talk too much. I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
So
I want to hear the stories. We want to hear the stories.
Matt, we do all this, and we're out a long time on Saturday, and Matt makes one video. I made 3. I went to the same yard sales. That's how much I yap and talk and put in stuff. And he made 1 video. I made 3 videos.
Because he's like the silent assassin. You're the I'm here I come assassin. Right?
That's right.
No, that's awesome though. But I've told you before. I love how your videos and how you narrate them. I love listening, and you learn so much by the narrations that you're doing while you're talking about stuff you pick up.
That was totally by accident. That's just what I do. That's not what I do for the camera. Well, I don't talk. I talk to the camera now, right? Because I know they're there. But I mean, I talk to. That's what I do. But now I realize I'm also talking to 50,000 people in the camera. Right. So I'm just like, hey, if I got an audience, I'm rolling.
I was like, every video I watch now of any picker out there, it's as soon as there's Tupperware on the screen, shout out to Kevin. Shout out to Kevin.
It's a tough life to be known for ashtrays, Tupperwares, and enemas.
Right. There's the video game guy, and there's the toy guy, and I'm the Tupperware.
Oh man.
I wanted to ask you, because you made a lot of connections there. People, you like just a recent yard sale that you went to, like, was it the 100 yard? What was the one that you just had? Where like
100 mile.
Like a lot of people that you met in Cincinnati all came and they helped you with your whatnot and stuff. So you made a lot of connections.
Actually,
there,
believe it or not, I met those guys before. So Tim and I'm thinking I did. Tim and Eric I met before at the 100 mile.
Okay.
Before that one. And Chernock I didn't meet him before the rally. Yeah, but I had never met Paul, who is like, I don't want to put this out in public. Nobody's listening to this, right?
No,
Paul is
not at all.
Paul's I'd consider him a friend. And I remember him sitting there at that whatever restaurant we got kicked out of. What was that place called?
The Hofbrau House.
And I'm sitting with Tennessee Picker, and then Matt comes over there. But Paul's sitting there. It's kind of hard to miss Paul, right?
Yeah, right.
And I go over there and start talking to Paul. I'm like, dude, they're kicking us out of here or something. And he starts yapping. He's bigger than life. He's bigger than life, and then bigger than life on top of it. And I like that. People that shrink away, like, oh, this is Pete, Craigslist Hunter. Whatever. I mean, we're all people. And he's just like, he don't care. He just give it to you like you're the guy down the street. And so I got, and Kayla, consider her a friend too. She might not consider me a friend, but I mean, I think, and Eric, I knew, like you said, before there. And Dante, I knew. There you go. Dante, I knew him before as well. And so there's a few people I got to know there and a few people I knew before. But, I was just lucky that Dave and Carrie weren't there. That would have been too much to hang out. So happy.
Yeah, I mean, I got to hang out with them, and they're a hoot, man. They're too much. Like, those two guys together, wow. I mean, and you do a podcast with them, so...
My condolences to you, sir.
Now I got to ask you a question. Now you might have already talked about this, but what was it? Give me something. I don't want to ruin what you're going to post out there, but I want to know what your experience was like. What was your takeaway? What did you enjoy about it the most? I'm putting you on the spot. I'm interviewing you. It's not. I'm just curious.
Well, I tell you what. Here's what I got out of it. Right over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've probably already told this story in the setup of this whole podcast, but there are a lot of big names, people I've been watching on YouTube, Kevin, you, Matt, everybody, and you probably had a person you wanted to meet, somebody you either hadn't met before or that you really wanted to meet. And I had really been watching Jimmy's videos at that point, had watching everything. And I wanted to meet him, and was one of the top on my list. And as soon as I got out of the vehicle at the hotel, I hear, "Hey-o!" And here's Jimmy standing there at the front door of the hotel. He might have been the
I was actually checking.
He was checking. He got my bags out of the car, and he got turned down service for me.
This guy didn't even tip me right.
But just getting to meet everyone, to meet you, Kevin, and find out that everybody's.
I was so short.
Oh, well, that was one, Paul was so tall and then you were so short, and to see it together.
Yeah, you two
It
standing.
was that everybody was
not good
just
for you. It was not good for you to be standing next to
regular folks that just they were all doing the same thing that I'm doing, just out there doing their hustle, trying to make sales, doing YouTube. I had a very small YouTube channel, and to get recognized by somebody was great.
Right.
But just to find out that everybody was just regular folks, and really the only difference was they had thousands of more viewers than I did, or they were.
I was so impressed. I was so impressed by John, who I didn't get to really talk to very much there because he was super busy. And so that's one regret I have. But I wanted to say thank you to a few people that really either inspired me or helped me along the way building my channel. Yes. And I was able to do that. But the thing that impressed me the most about John is after the thing was over, John appeared on 5-6 people's lives.
Yep.
Pretty in the following days. I'm like, man, you got a lot of. I'd be tired after all that, and all the hosts of the guys, and they all did, all of them, and either inspired me in some way or helped me along the way. Yep. John obviously with the garage sale stuff, and Lonnie, if you watched what I do, and Ronnie Hart, who I watched back with Pete. Crazy, I mean those two. Yeah. It was Pete and Ronnie that I watched these. I'm like this like, and I'm like, and Ronnie. He's killing it doing club. I'm like, these guys, you could really do this. You can really make a go of this thing. Yep. And I just wanted, and Matt, of course, helped me tremendously build my, as he's done with many. And so I just want to say thank you and talk to him. I didn't get to talk to John like I wanted to, but as much, not blaming him. I mean, I did for just a few brief minutes, and I have since, of course. But it was very nice. So. It's awesome.
Yeah, the rally was a great time. Just having that meetup, a chance to meet up. And so, Kevin, I'll touch on something here that you're doing right now. The Garage Sale Nation, new Facebook page that you have going on for people to post large sales. So tell us a little bit about your Garage Sale Nation page.
Awesome. So I didn't know it's going to get to plug my thing. I should go on tour like the people when they have a movie, and plug the movie coming out. I'm going to plug my group. It's something I wanted. I've been talking to guys, behind the scenes for it. I absolutely love the reseller rally. I love the meetup part of it, but I absolutely love garage sales. Period. The highway sales. I mean, I just saw Kayla and Paul doing this one up and multiple ones up there, and I'm just jealous. I'm like, man, that is awesome. So. I'm like, we're going to build, we're going to build this Facebook group and we're going to get just accumulation of all these sales, and we're going to post all that information in one place. We're going to post it by month, post it by state, and you can find them, you can look them up, and you can communicate, hey, I'm going to be here. Y'all want to meet up, and if I go, or if we go trash to cash or whatever, and we'll post it on there in that site, and we'll be like, hey, let's, we're going to do a meetup there. And it's just a way to communicate. And I didn't know about I didn't know about 90% of these sales. I don't know if you've been on there looking, but they're everywhere. Yes. These massive highway sales, these citywide sales, they're just absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, and it's such a great idea. I've been following it, so far, and to find sales that are in the area and to have a chance to post and say, hey, I'm going to be at the sale if you want to meet up, which is kind of in the spirit of the reseller rally that brought so many folks together. So thank you for thinking of that and organizing that page.
Hey. And I've got some help. Matt and Thrifter Sifter and Carrie American Arbitrage been helping me boost that up. Richard, who I also met at the reseller rally, and been helping me build that thing up. And I would like to just keep building it. I have dreams of a massive community, 10,000. Quickly by this summer, I want 10,000, and it's because. The meetups are cool, but when you do these, look at FlipCon down there, right? I mean, it's expensive to get. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying when you do that, you run into difficulties to organize those kind of things, right? Yeah. You got to put in a lot of time, and you got to reserve, got to take care of food and whatever. Imagine what they went through. John, I mean, you got the T-shirt behind you. I remember Pete took care of the T-shirt, all that stuff. And I'm like, it can almost be done organically through this page. And without, everybody pays their own way, just kind of meet up and whatever. And,
it's a great,
I'll get
great
Ray
idea.
to come and sell the Animan and make me enough money to fly home.
There. Okay. Well, thank you, Kevin, for stopping by. We appreciate it. And we will catch you out at a yard sale sometime soon. And check out the Trash to Cash podcast and all of Kevin's channels, all 24 of them, how many ever he has today. And
everything's
we
linked
appreciate
down
it.
below.
Yes, it'll all be linked. So have a great evening, and we'll move on to the next guest, Jimmy.
Next up is a couple that I recommend following on YouTube. They are new to YouTube. When they were at the rally, they actually didn't even have a YouTube channel. This is Frank and Janelle over at FJ Treasures. What's going on, everyone? We are here with Frank and Janelle, FJ Treasures, another couple that we met at the Reseller rally. Now, the interesting thing about them is they were not into the YouTube side of it as much as the rest of us, so that's something we're going to talk with them about. But first, take the time, introduce yourselves, tell us about everything you guys are doing on social media and YouTube nowadays.
I'll pass it on to you, honey.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we've been on YouTube since it's been exactly a year now. So we've been doing that, and I started Instagram I don't know, a few months ago or so, but
a little under a year. We started in August for YouTube.
Oh, I thought we started in okay, sorry.
It was after the rally.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so we're literally a year away from the rally now.
Yeah, we were definitely not on YouTube when we were at the rally.
Okay.
So it is FJ Treasures across the platforms?
Yes. Yep.
We're trying anyway, because when we first started, we had a couple different names, and I think we used our actual name. I don't know. We're trying to keep it all FJ Treasures to keep it simple.
Cool.
Yeah, I got like 5 different names.
Yeah,
so
you know how it is, right?
Don't be like him. Don't have look at like his tag right here. Look at all these names. For those of you listening to this, again, he hasn't fixed the fact that he has 10 different names in his tag.
So you guys are hanging out at the treasure chest today.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that for your YouTube channel, the treasure chest. And so, I met you guys last year at the rally, almost exactly 1 year ago. And if I remember correctly, we may have been on the elevator or getting off the elevator. I think we were in the elevator, and it's like, hey, are you here for the rally? And we got to talking then. So, and I got your business card, which is.
Oh, I gave you a business card? You got
I did.
I did. Mine's in my wallet upstairs. Sorry. I'm just glad Frank got
Jimmy,
the memo on the hat.
Yeah,
I keep my card taped.
Proper dress code.
I keep my card taped right here near my heart. My FJ Treasures business card right there. So you guys, as Jimmy said earlier,
you weren't keep my business card. That was terrible. Reader on the backside.
You guys weren't doing YouTube when we were at the Reseller rally. So tell us what brought you to the rally to begin with.
Well, what brought us to the rally is Janelle started reselling in September 2020. She lost her job in a movie theater. She was working part-time in a movie theater 3 nights a week-ish.
Actress. I'm guessing actress.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Modeling for the movies, and stuff. So obviously with COVID, she was the first one to lose her job out of everybody, and the theater being shut down. And I got stuck on nights. I had to work through COVID, and middle of the night, didn't have a ton of work to do in the middle of the night, during lunches and stuff. In case my employer's watching, it was only during lunch. I was watching YouTube videos, and I saw this guy in a shed selling crap, and I was like, wow, look how much he sold that for, and I'm and I started binge watching him, Shed Flips with Lonnie, if you guys know him.
Yes.
And it was kind of eye-opening to me on how much he was making. And I started doing numbers and stuff. I'm like, well, it's YouTube. You can't believe everything you see. And I started watching. Right. I think it might have been a week later. I showed Janelle his videos. I'm like, hey, you got to check this guy out. He's selling crap out of a shed,
Yeah.
She starts watching. She's like, wow, I could do that. That is awesome. Yeah. I get to go shopping at thrift stores, my favorite thing. And I can't stand thrift stores. They drive me nuts. She loves digging through crap. Yes. And I go, if you think you can do this, go for it. Here's a credit card. Have at it. Start filling up some bins.
You got the keys to the credit card.
Somebody would give me the credit card.
Yep.
That makes sense. The keys to the credit card. I don't think it did, but that's fine.
It didn't make one bit of sense, but that's the show. Right there.
But we had a couple storage. I'm sorry, we had one storage unit at the time where I kept my motorcycles for the winter because it was September, getting to be the winter time, and I had quite a bit of extra room in the storage unit. And I told her, well, just start filling up bins and put it all in the storage unit for now, and we'll wait for it to sell. If you're getting it for cheap enough, who cares how long it sits for?
Yeah.
So she started, building up a little bit of inventory, watching a lot more YouTube videos on what to buy, and stuff started selling. And I was watching the numbers, and she, being a movie theater, I mean, no offense, part-time income, it wasn't easy to, or it wasn't hard to pass that up.
Sure, yeah.
Pass that up. I'm like, hey, this might actually work. And then a few months in, I noticed there's a rally coming up that was rescheduled. I'm like, oh, that's pretty freaking cool. We can meet some other people.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what area are you from?
We're in Rochester, New York, upstate New York.
So did you drive?
We're between Rochester and Buffalo. It's about an hour from Niagara Falls.
Yeah, we drove. We
drove
to the rally.
over to the rally.
Yep.
So you got to meet all these other great YouTubers and learn, and that inspired you then to, because I know when we talked, you were like, oh, we don't have a channel yet, but we're thinking about it. So was the rally like a big inspiration for you to start the channel?
It kind of was. Going into the rally, watching the YouTube, I thought it would be really fun to edit videos. I'm more the back end person. I love the business end, the numbers, editing stuff. I dig all that. She likes all the other stuff that I don't like.
We got a unicorn right down here. Frank, the only guy that likes the numbers and doing
honestly, I enjoy the listening. I like all the parts that everybody doesn't like that complains. I love running numbers, looking at the spreadsheets and stuff. But I was telling myself, as busy we are selling on eBay, I don't want to do YouTube. It looks like fun. I'm not getting into it. We're busy enough.
Yeah.
And we're at the rally. I actually walked up to Lonnie. He had no clue who I was, shed flips. And we ran out like right before we knew we were going to meet him. And I ran to the liquor
Lonnie
store.
had no idea who I was either. So.
Right. Well, we went out and grabbed a big, huge bottle of Crown Royal because I remember seeing in one of his videos, he loves Crown Royal. So I'm like, I'm going to get a big, huge bottle of Crown. And I go up to him like, hey, man, this is going to be totally weird. I'm like the weird guy that's walking up to you that you don't know who we are. Well, you changed our lives. You really did. Then I handed it to him. I'm like, I owe you this. And he's like, no, you don't. I go, no, trust me, you do.
Right.
Like I gave it to him. We got chatting, and he was like, hey, you guys do YouTube? I'm like, nah, I'm not really that interested. And he started talking YouTube with me and telling me how much you can make just with a small channel even. And I started looking at the numbers, and it was keep me up at night. I'm like, I should probably rethink that a little bit. So
and you guys are growing pretty good in just a year. I actually have your page called up right here, 989 subscribers currently. So you're almost at that 1,000 subscriber milestone, which is just wonderful. Cause I think I'm at like, 100 and
I think you've lost 4 since
I lost. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm not so much, I guess, because she's got to put up with me editing all the time. But it's been a lot of sleepless nights on my end. I mean, I still got my full-time job. I'm going in at 7 a.m. I'm up till 12:30 at night editing videos, trying to crank out another video. I mean, you know how it is, Jimmy, trying to do that 2 videos a week or whatever, and hours and hours of editing. And it's been fun. And I keep telling myself, like, the monetization part's just like the starting line, which is kind of scary. Because it's like once you hit that, they say a lot of people will fade off because they think they've hit their goal. And it's like, no, that's where it just gets started.
Then you see that 20 cents a day if you're lucky, and you're just like, all that work for 20 cents a day. Huh?
Right, yeah. Exactly.
So you do have to get past that hurdle. It's a huge hurdle, and it's a mental hurdle for sure, yeah.
They need to get little Frankie in there a little bit more in those videos, and those views.
Yeah, we're trying to find a spot for him. We've had him doing a few different things. Like we had him introducing each item for a while, and that kind of got old. It was dragging out the videos, and we'll get him figured out eventually here as he gets older too.
He's got his special deliveries he does.
And I see you dressed for the occasion too. You got your reseller rally.
Yes.
2021. Did it say 21? Yeah.
Now, did you guys get to do some sourcing while you were out there? Did you guys get to go sourcing with anybody that any of the other YouTubers, or how did you guys do out there?
Well, on the way out there, actually, we were stopping at Goodwill's on the way, and it was in Ohio. It was I think we were almost to Cincinnati. And we stopped at a Goodwill, and we actually ran into Roman. Cool. Was it anytime?
Yeah, we didn't know who Roman was. We ran into Roman. I posted like a bunch of, you guys probably seen me or whatever. I posted a bunch of crap on the Facebook group page.
Yeah,
because we were going in knowing nobody, and we're like, well, we got to get to know some people. I don't want to go there not knowing anybody. I want to have fun at this freaking rally. I mean, COVID's over. It's time to have some fun.
Yeah.
So I kept blowing up the reseller rally page and trying to meet people and stuff. And we stopped at a Goodwill on the way down, and Roman's like, hey, I seen you on the Facebook group page. You were on your way down there. I was like, hey, Roman, how you doing? And he's actually our very first YouTube appearance. He filmed us, and we made really idiots of ourselves.
Yeah, Roman's a good guy. I'm an Ohio guy myself, so cross paths with Roman occasionally.
Right.
Cool.
So what would you say is the highlight of the rally besides meeting people and learning about YouTube and stuff? What was your big takeaway from the rally?
I don't know. Do you have? I don't really have one. It's just I guess the camaraderie, just hanging out with everybody.
I was gonna say the community, just meeting everybody and just being part of that community. And
yeah, I mean we've been ever since then. We've been talking about when's the next rally, when's the next. I mean Pete has no clue who we are, but we send him random emails now and then. Hey, when's this next rally? What's going on? You know, it's like. It sounds like there's not going to be one anytime soon, and we're nobody's to start one. You know, nobody's going to come to our rally, but yeah, we had fun. I mean, you know, reselling gets to be a little bit of a lonely business, so it's cool to hang out with people like-minded, and I mean, we had a blast. We really did.
Yes.
You start spending a little too much time in the basement talking to
or the shed.
You guys got a lot of plush, so you start talking to plush, and it can get
right?
I know Janelle loves hanging out with you guys at the listing and loafing, even though she doesn't chat much, but she's always there hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, I love the pod and the clickbait podcast. I know that's not live, obviously, but just to have that on the different podcasts just are very nice when I'm in the shed listing by myself.
I think most of us enjoy that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's fun. It makes it not so quiet and lonely in the basement.
Yes.
Yep.
Back to your question about the sales we went to. We did make it to one of them highway sales. Actually, it was going the same weekend down in Kentucky. There.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We took a drive down there one day. That was pretty fun. So,
did you find anything good?
I can't remember.
I think we found. I don't even remember. Nothing that memorable. I guess. I think we found a Wii at a church sale. We had a church rummage sale, but nothing great.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of the time, that's how it goes.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has been great. We're trying to keep these, interviews short. It was great to meet you folks at the rally, to see your success and your build, since the rally with your YouTube channel, the treasure chest. We'll definitely link that down below in the description. I always want to say in the comments.
To 1,000 subs. Let's get them close to that monetized.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us. This is our first live, podcast appearance, anyway, guest appearance. So we're, hopefully we didn't trash it too much on you guys.
Oh no, wait, I was on here earlier. That's right. Where am I at? So, Frank, Janelle, very nice to meet you folks. Thanks for coming on and participating. And we will move on to the next guest. Oh, that was a great interview there with Janelle and Frank. Hey, coming up next is another great one. Joe, the Philly picker, one of the first guys I met when I got to the rally, had some great conversations with him. And this interview was a great conversation. Check it out.
All right, guys, we are here with Joe, Philly picker. He was another one of the awesome people we got to meet at the Reseller rally. Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we got some questions for you about your experience there, man.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. My name's Joe. I go by the Philly Picker on YouTube and on Instagram. I'm a part-time reseller based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Mostly everything that I do reselling wise, I do on eBay. I should try to expand a little bit out further, but right now I'm stuck in this lane of doing most of my business on eBay. So one of these days I'll venture off and try to do something else. But as for right now, I'm just focusing more on eBay.
I'm right there with you, man. I love eBay.
Yep, I'm an eBay guy myself. Joe, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you guys too.
It's been 1 year. The Reseller rally was actually 1 year ago today that we are doing the recording. Just a great weekend, getting to meet folks. like Joe. Had some good conversations. One of my best kind of memories was just sitting there in the hotel lobby, just in a group. It was me and Jimmy and Joe and Eric OBX Picker, and I think maybe Adam BALDYPAL, just talking about reselling and YouTube and just you know, I was just sucking up all this knowledge from everyone. So first, obviously you came from Philly, you said that. I'd like to find out where, because a lot of people traveled over there, but give us what was your biggest take from the rally as a whole?
The rally as a whole was a great time. It was one of my was my first experience like traveling for doing, you know, something reselling related or with YouTube, anything like that. So I know most of you know it was just getting pushed back because of everything that was going on. So when it finally, you know, they got the dates nailed down and everything, I was really excited to do that. But, you know, I went out there not knowing what to expect, but I had a great time. I really just wanted to meet some of the people that I only knew through, you know, through the computer screen. So, and I can honestly say everybody that I met was, you know, just as great. Everything that I thought about them was right. You know, I mean, I wasn't disappointed in anybody that I ran into out there. So it was a great time. Everybody was super nice. Everybody, you know, welcomed me as soon as, you know, I met, you know, as soon as I got to the hotel, you know, I ran into different people and it was just a great time.
Now, be honest, you weren't maybe a little bit disappointed with Jimmy?
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
I was disappointed with myself, to be honest. Well, you know, one of the things that's cool about what you said though, Joe, is that like I wasn't a content creator when the tickets went on sale. I was just a fan. Like I had made a couple videos, but I mainly bought my ticket as a fan. And then during, you know, the everything that got delayed, I decided I'm going to create content. And I literally before then I didn't know who you were. And then we had met in YouTube chats and been on YouTube videos together. And by the time the event actually happened, I knew who you were. I knew who Ken was. I knew who everybody was. So it was kind of, for me, it was like a little blessing that I got pushed back because I got to go there and I got to meet my friends, like people I had made friends with online, and I got to meet them in person. So like, you know, as bad as it sucked that I got pushed back, for me, it worked out pretty good.
I agree too, because I was newer in the beginning when everything, you know, when it was first going to happen, and then it got pushed back, and I had a live show that I did, you know, once a week with Art Vandelay and Mike, the January House, and I got to meet so many people through just doing the show. Just doing the live show. And like you said, there were so many, you know, new names that came up in that time that it was pushed off. And, you know, I met a lot of them out there. You know what I mean? Of course, you know, everybody was, you know, wanted to go out there and see the big channels and all that. But, you know, I had a great time meeting those guys, but I had, you know, a great time meeting everybody else that I just met that started out around the same time as me, you know, on YouTube. So it was fun. I had a great time.
Yeah, definitely. Now, one of the things that a lot of folks did during that weekend was go out yard sailing, go out sourcing in that area. Did you get to go out and do any sourcing? Who did you hook up with while you were there? Tell us about your sourcing. Did you have any great finds?
Yeah, it was a few weeks before the show, before the weekend happened. Larry reached out to me. You know, we knew through talking through Instagram and stuff like that we were both going. And he said, "Do you want to do some yard selling together when we were out here?" I said, "Sure." You know, and that's who I went out with. He was great, man. And he was, you know, very nice. We hit up a few different, maybe about 8 or 10 yard sales, I think we went. I don't remember exactly where we were at and what we, you know.
Same here. I was
you know, I was just along for the ride, you know.
Like Ken was like, "We're in Kentucky," and I'm like, "Wait, what? Where are we?" I thought we like,
I thought we were in Ohio.
We just crossed over the river. And we're now.
I don't remember where we're at, but I was in the back seat. You know, Larry and his girlfriend were, you know, taking me around. It felt good to be chauffeured around to yard sales instead of me trying to figure out where the next one is at and going around. So I had a couple decent finds.
Did it feel good to be chauffeured around?
It sure did. I got to ride with Larry on the first day, and then I rode with this guy on the second day.
Yeah. So that was a whole different feeling, just sitting in the back seat, and I just went along with it. I had a couple good finds there. I actually bought a couple pairs of jeans and some old Levi's made in USA jeans, and I paid $2 or $3 for them, and there was a $5 bill in one of the pockets. So
bonus.
Yeah, so that was good.
I've never had that happen.
That was the only time I ever found any kind of money.
Maybe change, but never the kind that holds.
$5 bill.
That's awesome.
We're talking about the rally, but just to expand on your story there, I found a Coca-Cola, like a soft-sided cooler bag one time, and it was for free. The people were just giving away everything in this house. They were trying to clean it out. It's a $50 bill in the front little zipper pocket.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
Yeah, I've never had that look. Never had that happen. That's like a bonus, right? Like that's like if you were to have a job, that's your bonus for the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
So you met up with Larry, and who's a great guy, by the way. I've kept in touch with Larry. Anybody else that you met there that like maybe you built a relationship that you've kept since meeting them at the rally?
I talked to a lot of people, mostly through Instagram. That it is. I talked to Paul. Everybody knows Paul.
Wait, we're not talking to Paul right now?
I don't know.
That was kind of one of the ongoing jokes, right?
So
he's like, don't go there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. I apologize.
Oh no, it's fine.
I've made the mistake before.
Oh, it happens to everybody, and I'm really okay with it. You know what I mean? Paul's a great guy. I met Eric OBX Picker.
Eric's awesome.
Kevin COMMONWEALTH Picker, everybody that, like I said, everybody. Tim, over the years, I actually met up with him one time after the show.
Cool.
There's so many people that I think I left there considering everybody that I met like a friend. You know what I mean? And I feel like I can reach out to them at any time, and they would help me out. And vice versa. If they needed anything, anybody reached out to me, I'd be glad to help everybody.
Yeah, same here. I feel the exact same way leaving there. Like, maybe we don't get a chance to chat as much as there's so many people I talk to every day on Instagram, like you said, but I try my best to catch up with everybody every once in a while. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not there. Yeah.
And I stop in everybody's shows, and
yeah, that's a big part of it.
Everybody. Like I said, from the big channels to the smaller channels and the people just starting out. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I met some people that I didn't even know there that had
that had channels.
So Roman, I see he's everywhere in the chats and everything. That was the first time I ever ran into him.
So what was one? Can you pinpoint like one moment that, like, when you think about the rally, this memory pops in your head?
I think it might be everybody's with Tim's IKEA bag.
It's always Tim too, because he killed it.
But I just think that the hanging out, like you said, in the lobby, of
that night was
hotel.
Fun,
that was, the boat ride and everything was great and everything on the. But I think you got more like a personal relationship with people where everybody was just hanging around and everybody was, having a good time. And, it was good to have, conversations. Like I had tons of conversations with people outside of reselling and outside of YouTube that were, I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought maybe going there, it was going to be all about YouTube and all about reselling and everything. And it wasn't. And those conversations were, that I had with different people were, more memorable than, the reselling side of it,
So did you make it to the restaurant that we ended up leaving or getting kicked out of?
very briefly. I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes I was there. You know, I never made it to a table or anything like that. I got a beer, and then next thing you know, we were, you know, everybody was leaving.
They don't want our money. We're leaving.
So what's funny is what you said, though, is because we just talked to John a little bit ago, and that was kind of a behind the scenes thing that I didn't know all the details about. So what it was is they didn't want us to mingle. They wanted us to stay at our tables.
Right. I didn't know. I guess I maybe heard that like after the fact, but at that time I didn't, you know, at the time that was going on, I didn't know that was the reason, because there were some people outside, some people inside, and so and I think eventually,
that's why it worked out so good, though. Going back to the hotel, we all got to, like you said, like you were just saying, we all got to hang out, talk, and mingle, and get to know each other, and that's why it was like it worked out perfect. It looked like it was going to be a disaster, and it actually worked out perfect.
Oh yeah, I think it worked out, great, considering, at the restaurant there was people in different rooms. I think that would have not worked. Not would.
Yeah, like John looked angry, like when he was having to announce that we were leaving, like he looked like he was ready to, and then it ended up being for the best anyways, right?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I think that night and having the conversations back then, after we got back with everybody, and gave us all, I think, an opportunity to meet different people, in a smaller area than it would be at a restaurant spread out in different rooms.
Being forced to stay at our table.
Yeah, or forced to sit at the table that you were, the people that you were just with. So I think that was, that worked out better for everybody.
Yep.
So what anything exciting like since last year that's been going on, or what do you got going on currently? I know you did that show with Dan and Mike, and what are you doing now, say YouTube wise? Or
YouTube right now, I try to put out 1 or 2 videos a week, and I haven't really been hitting that goal. I've really been concentrating more on the reselling side of everything.
Yeah.
I think the amount of time that I was putting into YouTube, I just feel like it was taken away from the reselling side of it. And, at the end of the day, I wasn't making any money at YouTube, and I wanted to, I do this, part-time to make extra money. And I really do it part-time to, I pay the kids tuition with it. So I felt like, my oldest son now, he's graduating this year. He's going into high school. Tuition gets more, expensive next year, for him. My youngest daughter, Riley's going to preschool. So I think I had to pivot a little bit and focus more on the reselling side of it to, continue to that end of it, and I still enjoy the YouTube side of it. So I make the videos when I can. It's like, I try to stick to 1 or 2 videos a week, mainly 1 video. They're usually shorter, what sold videos, because, that's what really got me into, reselling, is watching some what sold videos. I enjoy showing what I'm selling all the time. That's what helped me out in the beginning, and it still helps me out now. I really do enjoy, watching the what sold videos. And
I know your videos are influential, Joe, because I saw in one of Jimmy's recent videos, he actually asked somebody if they had a Darth Maul all over print t-shirt somewhere in their attic that he could buy.
So, see that? I literally asked somebody that.
I know, you text me or you message me on Instagram and say
you got to check out Joe's channel. It'll be linked down below with everybody that's in the video. Joe, appreciate you taking a few minutes just to relive the reseller rally from last year. Well, reseller rally 2020 that was actually held in 2021 due to all the COVID. But Joe, we appreciate you taking a few minutes, and everybody click on that link down below. Check out Joe's channel. He's a great guy. I enjoyed meeting him, and I'll give you the last word here.
Hey, I just want to thank you guys for thinking of me and having me on the show. I really appreciate it. It was great meeting the both of you in person.
Yes.
And let's keep in touch, you know.
For sure.
For whatever the next one is, I whenever it's planned, I hope to be there and hopefully run into you guys also.
And we'll keep them on the East Coast, on the eastern half over here.
So I have to travel all the way out there. Thanks,
Makes
guys. Appreciate looking out for us people on the west side. No, Joe. Yeah, thank you so much, Joe. Thanks for hanging out with us. We would, of course, we're going to reach out to you, man. You made an impression on both of us at the rally, and
most definitely,
like you said, we consider you a friend, man.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, appreciate it.
Bye.
So this next guy, his channel has taken off ever since the Reseller rally. It's grown almost as tall as he is, height-wise. This is Paul Philly Flipper. All right, everyone. We are here with Paul Philly Flipper, sometimes confused with Joe Philly Picker. We actually talked to Joe a little bit ago, so now we're here with the
oh, man. You guys got all the
Philly guy, Philly Flipper Paul. Paul, what's going on, man? Real quick, introduce yourself and what you got going on the social medias.
My name is Paul. I sell things, and then I make videos about it.
That's what he does. YouTube channel is Paul Philly Flipper with a PH on both sides.
That's it in a nutshell, right, Jimmy?
In a nutshell, my favorite term that I still don't know what it means.
I think I'm the only flipper with a PH out there, right? So
I think so.
Pretty sure, yeah. Sometimes people just call me the Flipper with a PH. I'm like, okay, I know what they're talking about. Okay, that's me.
It works. It works.
Yeah.
So 1 year ago, Paul, we were at the Reseller rally in Cincinnati. And what a great event. You, of course, showed up. Now, I guess my first question overall, before the rally, did you know you were that tall?
Did I know that was that tall?
Yeah.
Yeah, based on everybody's perception of me whenever I go somewhere, I figured I was tall, but...
That's funny you said.
That's the thing I learned about resellers, a lot of them are short. That's what I learned.
Or like me, they're round. That's one of my first memories is like of Paul was like he walked up behind me and this giant paw lands on my shoulder just like
yes.
He's like Jimmy and I was like oh.
You're like God. Yeah,
that was like the talk of the chats. Did you know Paul was that tall? I didn't know Paul was that tall.
Yeah, that was quite the talk. And then at my old job, I had the nickname Bear Claw because I could take lug nuts out with my own hand. I had to use a wrench. So it's pretty funny you say that. Like I pretty much just smacked you with my Bear Claw right there. That's how I showed my love, though, Jimmy. That's how it was.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I was just like I was a little bit scared. I was like.
So one of the cool things at the rally, of course, you had the whole boat ride and event, but a lot of folks went out sourcing that weekend, hitting all the great yard sales in the Cincinnati area. Yes. And you were part of a kind of a caravan of folks, of other resellers. We had talked to Kevin COMMONWEALTH earlier, and he didn't want to admit that got to be good friends with Paul. He didn't want to say that on camera, but you were out with
I'm not going to say it on camera either then.
Talk about your sourcing. Who'd you go with? Did you find any great finds? How was that part of the event?
Well, so when I flew over there, I had no plans of going sourcing at all. So I was flying, so I can't really source much when you have nothing to grab with. But then when the opportunity presented itself and be like, hey, you want to go out tomorrow with some of the legends? How am I going to say no to that? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, of course I want to go out tomorrow. So it was a lot of fun just to watch and learn how other people pick. But I couldn't really grab anything myself because it has to be something really small to fit into my carry-on. So I didn't really source anything from me, but it was just so much fun to just see what everybody else was grabbing and just to learn from the greats.
Yeah, what did you take from their... not the sourcing aspect, but how they capture footage and their reseller YouTube content, the way they approach that.
Everybody had a different perspective. Kevin liked to go off and talk to himself. Everybody else was just super smooth about it. It's actually the first time That was the first time Kayla and John both wore a chesty was that weekend before they would always try to hide it or whatever. That was the first time going out, so that was pretty fun to see that. Them being a little nervous about it, but then becoming pros. Matt, the part-time Matt,
yes,
he is just a smooth operator.
That's
That
what
dude,
Kevin said.
he doesn't walk. He just like glides. He's just like super silky. And like there'd be things where I'd be like, wow, look, they have $20 on those gloves. That's crazy. He's like, oh, okay. Then he goes like, would you take $5 for both of these? They have $20 price tags on each. And they're like, yeah, why not? And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I learned from him, just not to be afraid to ask anything. Because a lot of times when you go to like yard sales and we see crazy prices, like, oh, what's happening here? Apparently, if you ask, they can become lower. There we go.
Right, like Kevin even described him as like the silent assassin, like just slow.
That's what that is. That's what Matt is, and I was the opposite. I was the loud.
So
like,
the
opposite of assassin.
Kevin was just walking amongst the giants, you and Matt.
Me, Matt, and Eric, OBX Picker, is pretty tall too. So we were like his bodyguards the whole time. Or it was like take your kid to garage sales too. It could have been that as well.
Put the toy down. That's great.
Yeah, it was just a fun event. Any other like great memories from the event that you would highlight?
Well, just meeting all the people that you watch was pretty good. My biggest memory was the day before the event when I booked my ticket for the wrong date. That was pretty. That was quite a memory.
That.
What? I never heard this story.
So Kayla convinced me last minute to go to the event. So like, the event was on Friday, and I bought my ticket to the rally on Tuesday that week. Right, so it was like legit like 3 days before. And because she was like, hey, if you go, John's going to go. You guys can hang out together. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good time. So I bought my ticket Tuesday. Then I bought my plane ticket Wednesday, just out of a whim. Then I come to my airport on Friday, and I noticed that I bought the ticket for 2 weeks ahead of time, not for that Friday. And my plane takes off in an hour, and I have nothing. So I had to go to the concierge, cancel that ticket, put that towards a new ticket that's leaving in an hour, and that ticket wasn't cheap.
No,
that ticket that leaves in an hour. So yeah, that was probably one. I think I paid. I don't even want to know how much. I think it was like $600, $700 round trip to Lexington, which is like insane.
It's from Philadelphia. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
well, I want to say like, oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, but so that was memorable. So that kind of started off like on a little down note, but it was. I would say it was worth every penny.
I was going to say, so it seems like it was worth it because I want you to talk about like your channel since then. And you've had some other things happen, but since then, man, your channel has taken off.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Well, how many subs were you at when you got there on your YouTube
I was
channel?
like at 1,200 or 1,300 when I got there. And I'm almost at 10,000 now. And that was kind of one of the biggest reasons why I went, was just to learn from these people and to see, hey, what can I do? And that's kind of where like my friendship with Kevin started, because he had no clue who I was from Adam when I got to that rally. He had no clue who I was. But he just on Saturday after the whole boat thing, we went back to the hotel, and me and him sat down for about like an hour and had just like a deep conversation about what I should do with my YouTube channel continuing, because this is when I had my lives and my pre-records on the same channel. And he was like, hey, it'll be really smart for you. It's going to hurt now, but it's going to be really helpful for you in the long run if you separate them and put one on the other. And then I got to talk to Pete about the same thing, Craigslist Hunter, Kayla, all those big names that were just like that were succeeding. It was just cool for me just to like ask them questions and get their advice and apply that to what I'm doing, and seems to be working.
Yeah, that's a big part of when people give you information like that. It's also, what did you do with it? Like, if they give you that information, you do nothing with it, then all you did was you just absorbed it.
We're not talking about me now, Jimmy. We're talking
I didn't
about.
want to go there, but
talking about Paul.
This guy right here. No, I mean, I even struggled with some of it. I took in a lot of that same information. What I did though is I made me step back and reevaluate. That was a big part of what I learned there. Is I reevaluated everything I was doing, on YouTube, and I came up with my plan I have now. But yeah, so kudos to you, man. You literally took it in and you did something with the information they gave to you, man. And it's showing you. You're doing really good, man.
The information was definitely worth more than wherever that flight was. That's for sure. Yeah. If you guys want to learn more about the information, join my Patreon. It doesn't exist yet.
There you go.
Right?
That's gonna be my career plan: is get free information and then charge for that information. Can we do that?
There you go. Perfect. I think you're on something here. Yeah, probably one of my kind of takeaways from the rally too was, I'm just small channel, still have a small channel. And after the rally, Paul, you had a kind of like a impromptu live with all the folks that were there, and you invited me to be on that. And I was like, hey, that's really cool. Here's a guy that, I didn't know before the weekend. I wasn't really following your channel. I met you. I'd seen you in chats and seen some other things. And then to kind of get accepted and invited into that was really cool. So I always wanted to just say thank you for that from me anyway to, that
was a very fun show.
Look, I think I've made like 2 more videos since then and a couple of TikToks. So, this is really working out for me.
Didn't John Cincinnati Picker drop in on that and everything?
Yeah,
right?
like this is back when I had just like now I don't have much fear anymore of asking the bigger channels.
Right.
Back then I was terrified. So I didn't ask any of those big people. I was like they're gonna kill
That's like
me.
we were terrified to ask you, Paul.
so
this guy's huge.
Yeah, so like it was like I asked like a bunch of like I asked some bigger channels. I asked like Kayla and like all those to come on, but I was like, I'm not gonna ask John. John doesn't have time for me. and then I just heard like, oh, by the way, John heard about the show. He's coming on. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that was I remember that. It was awesome. It was awesome.
It's a good time.
It was such a good live. Yeah.
Actually, I want to rewatch that now. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, we don't want to take too much of your time, man. We appreciate you doing.
Yeah, if you take too much, I'm going to start charging you guys.
Yeah, right. You got listings. I mean, you got to get to your 100 listings a day plus that you do. Almost. I don't know.
I did like 77 yesterday, so not close to 100. But I have a bunch of stuff to list, so it's a lot more fun when you got new inventory.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
I don't have a bunch of Mr. Bills behind me though. That's I see the homemade enema man.
Look at that.
This is Fleet Frank right here. That's the poor man's enema man.
Yes,
I showed that to Kevin. I'm not sure he was overly impressed, and he wanted affiliate link towards that.
Royalties from
of course. Anytime we show anything to Kevin, he wants affiliate links. You should already be aware of that. Doesn't matter what you bring up. You're like, oh yeah, that's great. How could I get my cut?
Can you put my name on it somewhere?
Yeah, you put a sticker somewhere.
So, Paul, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We appreciate you taking a few moments out and talking with us. So we are going to move on to the next guest.
Next up is part of the Tuesday crew on the Listing and Loafing channel. Over on his channel, OBX Flips. This is OBX Picker Eric. All right, everyone. We are here with our next guest, none other than Eric OBX Picker. What's going on, Eric? Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Hey, Eric OBX Picker. I live here on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Been reselling about 3.5 years. Met these guys years ago now, but I've been basically flipping and picking about anything. You guys know, if you watch anything with me, that I don't really have a category. I just whatever sells, that's what I buy.
Whatnot. Check him out on Whatnot, guys.
Yes, he's killing it.
The randomness is my go-to on there. Like whatever I can get, whatever. Try to find something weird. I've sold sharks on there. deer antlers on there. I've sold all kinds of weird stuff. So.
As you know, we're doing a video about the reseller rally. That was a year ago. We got some questions about your experiences there. Ken, if you got questions for him, let's rock and roll, man.
Well, Eric, I appreciate you coming on with us. I got to say, well, except for Jimmy, when I came to the hotel, Jimmy was, I think he was standing outside like the doorman. holding the door for everybody. So I met Jimmy first, but you know, you walk into that situation and you don't really know anybody. There's all these faces, and Eric, your big smiling, cheerful face, was the first guy that I actually met. First got my OBX business card and my stickers right here. That I got, that you were standing around with a group. I think Joe Philly Picker and Kevin Tennessee Picker were all standing around there. But yeah, it was great to meet you. Of course, you're very recognizable when you walk in the room.
Yeah,
so
I'm one of the smaller guys around, that's for sure.
So yeah, it was a great time. Now I know one of the big events that people did was went out sourcing during all the yard sales, great yard sales there in the Cincinnati and Kentucky area. And you were with like the super crew, the who's who of resellers.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about who you sourced with, what you found, what somebody else found that you didn't get. How was your sourcing during the rally?
Well, it's kind of crazy. I'd actually met Kevin prior to Kevin Tennessee Picker was the first one I met there, but Kevin Commonwealth Picker, we go kind of way back. I remember when we first started doing the Friday night show a long time ago. If you look back on my YouTube, you'll see Friday night and the reseller roundtable. So Kevin, we invited him like everybody else has to come on as a guest, and he told us, which at the time I was like, okay, whatever, like your internet don't work, okay. But I've been to his house and I can tell you his internet does not work like you can.
Anybody watching this video will see that his is the toppiest video.
Yeah, so it's terrible. Like you have to go in certain spots of his house to get a cell phone signal. It's one of those things. But so I had met Kevin prior. I got to meet his wife, Heather, when I was there as well. Mm-hmm. And so we actually went to dinner that first night we were there. And I ended up driving because Kevin doesn't drive that well, to be honest. According to his wife. That's not me, Kevin. That's your wife. I'm saying. So I ended up kind of chauffeuring them. And so the next day, well, that night, Kevin's like, do you want to go picking? Matt has asked about going picking. I was like, dude, I've watched Matt, I've watched Kevin, I've watched all these guys. And so it was great to get the opportunity. We got up, we had to be the first one there. So we were up before anybody else, and we were out. And
what time was that? Do you remember?
And like maybe 6:15 in the lobby. Like we were out. And I was like, man, I don't even know if they have garage sales this time of day here, but like we're out there. We found some. That's cool. And we actually met Kat, the nurse flipper, and Kayla and Paul were out there. The assistant John was out there. They actually were trying to duck us for a little while, I think, because they wanted to pick better stuff than we did. But it was pretty neat to pick with those guys and just see how they move and how they work out there.
Yeah,
picking. Yeah, that's one of the things I talk about, like the behind the scenes of the way they look at it from a YouTube standpoint must be pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like that was kind of the thing that I've learned all the time with picking with people. Is like what people are looking for, seeing just different things. I mean, I can tell you, I've never seen a Toomey bag in life that I knew of. And when we were picking with Matt, like you see it on his videos, him find this bag's worth whatever. Dude, he found 3 that day that we were out there with him. Just like I was like, dude, who finds this stuff? Right. And then he found that Cosby video that was out there. But I was with him when all that happened. I'll tell you what I did find there, a Matt special. I found a vintage cartoon diaper of Diego. And it was right beside him. I was like, Matt, you're slipping, man. I found this ahead of you. I don't know what the deal was. But I flew to Cincinnati, so I didn't go like full bore picking mode.
Yeah, same here.
I did kind of help out some other guys. Like I spent some time with John, the assistant, and talking golf clubs because that's something I like to pick. So I actually showed him a few things. Like if I had a car, that's what I'd be buying. That right there. So it's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. I helped Kat carry loads of stuff to her car. After that, because like she was back to the hilt.
Yeah, her car was full.
Yeah, it looked like a lowrider coming out of the neighborhood.
So you ended up just a pack mule during the weekend.
Oh my god,
loading up. So that has to be just like a fun time in a group like that. Everybody's got a GoPro, everybody's filming, everybody's looking for whatever. It just I remember watching all the videos and just finding all the great finds and just the fun camaraderie of, you know, meeting all these people, you know, really for the first time face to face. Was just great.
It's kind of weird because like you see people and you feel like you know them because you know watch them. But like when you're with people, it's a little different. Most guys are pretty much the same as what you see in videos, but then you also like just their personality comes through a little bit more. So when you're out picking, like just hearing, it's funny because Matt had like he's even kill. He always is even kill.
Yeah.
But his jokes are hilarious because they're the same way. Like they're just like even kill. Like he's you know, like some of the stuff that he was kind of putting out there. I was like, that's funny. But like it's not what you think. But yeah, so that was fun. And I drove, so I was chauffeur and me and Matt sat up front, Kevin's in the back in the kid seat.
So that might have to do. So Kevin's wife says he's a bad driver, and then he said you're a slow driver. So maybe they're somewhere in the middle there.
Cautious. Tim said, well, like, those guys. I've had somebody else tell me recently that I was slow, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because I can't get by with speeding. It's just one of those things. If I speed, I get like popped every time. So I just like if I'm 5 over, that's it. That's all I can do. I can't go anymore.
I think it's best that you drove. I do think it's best that you drove.
Yeah. Well, after I went up to Kevin's hometown, me, Cernock, and Tim last year, and Kevin actually he threw rocks on us like AKA Dukes of Hazzard style, like he blew down this gravel driveway. We're sitting on the side waiting for him, and he was like we were Roscoe or something coming after him because he was gone. I was like, okay. So anyway,
that would actually lead me to the next question. If that's cool, Ken. Like, talk to us a little bit about the people that you met and the a lot of the relationships that you've built since then because of the people that you met and contacts that you've made at the rally.
Well, it's crazy because like for me, the rally was you guys know, I mean, I did interviews for a long time and I was very involved in the community as far as like talking with people and that kind of stuff. So for me, it just grew even more so. At the time I just started filming that the What You Picking episodes. So I actually went up and I got the opportunity to meet guys doing that. And then, right behind the rally, then a lot of the guys that I met at the rally, SHADJUICE, John, Cincinnati Picker, like those guys, I was actually able to go back and shoot episodes there in the 127 that next year, like on the way down. And then just, putting faces to names because a lot of people know me as well, just because I have interviewed. I mean, obviously like Mr. Bill Ken, I've known him for a long time because of doing him coming to the Friday night round table and just being in the chat and having the Mr. Bill logo is something that I've always got in my brain. I've always called him Mr. Bill ever since day one. But it's being able to put names to faces. And then one of the interesting things for me at the rally is seeing there wasn't really no drama to speak of while we were there. There was, obviously there's people that gravitate towards certain people and other people. But for me, I'm a people person. So like, I never meet a stranger. I'm always like interacting. So just being able to, I guess, have a greater bond just because you met them. Like, Ken was saying, like when I walked in, he walked in and saw me, that I was already talking with people because I'm one of those guys. Like, I'm not just going to sit in the corner. I'm going to go and say, hey, what's going on? Like, aren't you Sensei? That's how I came and met Kevin. But there was a lot of people there at the rally who don't have any kind of YouTube following or not into social media or any of that stuff. And they were just there. Like when I first initially started talking to people, I met Tennessee Picker, but then like everybody I met for the next little while was people that were just whoever.
Just there to meet the people they've been watching the whole time, which was what the greatest thing. That's that takeaway from the rally is what I think is the best. The meeting people, finding out that they're they're just regular, common
just people,
folks just doing the same thing, you know, with the same interest. One of my best evenings, I think, there was just sitting around in a group. I think it was me and you, Jimmy, Joe, Philly Picker, maybe Adam, BALDYPAL, and just talking about reselling, talking about YouTube, just chit-chatting about this and that, and just a really great time.
Well, Eric, your camera froze, but we wanted to get that audio because it is a podcast, so we got your audio. All right, guys, we got Eric's camera situation figured out. We're gonna say goodbye to him and thank him for coming on. Eric, you want to say anything before we take off to the next guest?
Yeah, I do appreciate you guys for having me on. I will tell you, if you are a reseller and you're involved in the community whatsoever, I encourage you, if you get a chance to do a meetup or meet with other people, it's always a great time. And I learn every time I meet with other people as well. So thank you guys. Appreciate you.
And be sure to check out Eric's links. They'll be down below to his channels. Watch the live listing show every Tuesday on the OBX Flips channel. It's got a whole host of all your favorite YouTubers on there. Just a good working hangout. So Eric, we appreciate you being on, and we'll move to the next guest.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for that interview, Eric. Next up, the pizza guy. He got to be known as the pizza guy, Larry Way Out One.
All right, everyone. We are here with Larry Way Out One, another awesome person that we met, and I actually got to go sourcing with myself at the Reseller Rally. What's up, Larry? Tell us a little about yourself and your YouTube channel.
Thanks for having me on here, Jimmy and Ken. Great seeing you guys again. So I'm Larry Way Out One. I've been reselling for over 30 years. I've been reselling eBay for over 20 years. I'm in the St. Louis area, and I went full-time on May 2nd. I've been
awesome, man. Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome. Congratulations, man.
So, Larry, I got to start right out here. You know, Reseller Rally was just such a great time for sure. But you kind of ended up, other folks that have mentioned you so far that we've interviewed, you kind of got known as the pizza guy afterwards. Tell us, that was after the whole kind of debacle at the Hofbrau house where we got kicked out, had to go back to the hotel. But tell us a little bit about why you're the pizza guy.
So actually got to the Hofbrau house, and Lonnie was standing outside and saying that they wouldn't let us in. And I was out there with DANICA and TRACI, KAMERON, and Brian from Mr. Buys a Lot. And they're like, oh, we're going to go back to the hotel. And it's like, okay. So we got in a car. Lonnie had a Uber, so he left in the Uber, and the rest of us had cars. So we got in the car, drove back. We get there, and it's like, and I went to the bartender, actually, when we got there, and I said, hey, do you guys have any food service? And they're like, no, but here's a list of pizza places that you can order food from. And I looked through the list, and I was like, okay, you know, what am I going to order from? Who am I going to order from? And I just put in my phone, what's the closest pizza place? And I found one that was a few blocks away. So I called them and it was like, hey, I want to buy 10 pizzas. And they're like, okay. So I gave them, you know, 5 of their, whatever their regular things were. And then, you know, like a pepperoni, a sausage, a cheese, a vegetarian, and something else. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, so I ordered 10 pizzas, you know, the biggest size they had. And the lady's like, here, let me give you a price break. And I was like, okay.
Sweet.
Like, it wasn't, you know, I didn't ask for it or nothing. So it was very cool. And I ordered the pizzas, and I walked over to Lonnie and the group that was sitting with him. And I was like, hey, I ordered some pizzas, and, you know, didn't think anything about it. So then we brought the pizzas, showed up. Awesome. And the pizza guy was like, what is going on here?
Like, what?
So, yeah, we even heard in an earlier interview that you were considerate enough from watching other people's channels. You actually got TRACI Parks her own salad.
I did.
Right? Because she was
I did do that. Yeah.
Wasn't going to eat the pizza. And so, yeah, so you kind of got that moniker of the pizza guy. Hey, Larry bought some pizza, Larry bought. But I think Sonia also bought some pizzas that night.
Yeah, Sonia bought some pizzas that night. Yeah. She has to reminds me every once in a while.
Well, I came over to you guys and I said, hey, I just ordered 10 pizzas. And I think Sonia had already ordered some. She was already ordered some. Like, okay. Well, I just want to let you know I ordered 10. So and then I gave the pizzas away. I didn't, you know, people kept trying to give me money for the pizzas. And
so I just collected that money instead, Larry. To be honest.
Did you take the money?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
I took that money. It was actually a really lucrative night for me.
So Sharon was watching the pizzas or sitting by the pizzas, and people come up and was like, "How much do I owe you for the pizza?" And she's like, "No, they're free. Just take it." People kept trying to give her money. She said she pushed away more money that night than she could think about.
Well, yeah, very, very generous of you to do that, Larry.
Hero
and
comes to mind. Hero.
There you go. We'll go hero status for Mr. Pizza Guy. So also part of the rally, we did a lot of sourcing. People came to town, did a lot of sourcing. Did you get a chance to go out and source? Who'd you source with? What'd you find?
So I went with Jimmy and Sonia. We actually went on the first day on a Friday. Yeah. We went out and we hit a bunch of sales. Yeah. And Jimmy was very picky on what he was picking because he flew in. He didn't have any room. Yep. So he'd find some things. He goes, "Here, I'm not going to buy this, but you should buy this." And everything he pointed out to me, I sold. Like I don't own any of that stuff anymore.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty good.
Mr. Generous.
Yeah, exactly.
I said I wouldn't cry.
So everything that he pointed out, and then there was like a box of toys that I picked. You
dug through those toys.
I would have just bought the whole box, which I've used that now currently when I'm garage selling. It's like, what would Jimmy do on this? I bought a chunk of Ghostbusters like 2 weeks ago.
WWJD.
I have no clue what this is. Just grab it all. What would Jimmy do? Right?
That's awesome. We talked to Joe earlier. You got to go with Joe Philly Picker too, right?
I did. Yeah. I did. Joe and I went out. We just went to a subdivision sale basically. And it was, I guess it had been ran on Friday. So there wasn't a lot of stuff that we picked up. And Joe, I learned a few things from Joe. One was jeans. Like he bought some jeans and I had not bought any jeans at that point in time. Yeah. So I've experimented on jeans since then. Still not real good at it. But if they're, they look interesting or whatever. I mean, I still buy my clothes buying is mainly, is it really ugly? Somebody will buy this. That's kind of my clothes.
I've tried to sell Jimmy several times over.
That's why when my wife said I do, she's like, if it's really ugly, somebody will marry it. And so she said I do.
So at the rally, then it was great, meeting a lot of people that you had met. Now, I got to say, when I first pulled up to the hotel, got out of the car, walking up, and I hear, "Hey-o," and there's Jimmy and Larry standing there. I think that's spot on. People probably looked at the screen. Which so Larry, you and Jimmy were the first two folks that I actually met at the rally. Who were some of the folks that stand out in your mind? Who was somebody that you wanted to meet when you went there? Who's somebody that you have built a relationship since then, since the rally was over?
So Kevin was standing in line behind me when I was checking into the hotel. So I ended up talking to him. He was like one of the first people I talked to. Awesome. And obviously John and Lonnie both came up and talked to me after I bought the pizzas. They were, very, very happy about me doing that. They were,
they were just hungry.
Yeah. Their wives were very, very nice too. They both came up and thanked me. Yeah. And John and Lonnie. Pete obviously was amazing to talk to.
Yeah.
Those are like the three people that when I started watching YouTube videos on how to improve my business, which is basically why I started watching YouTube. Because I've been selling selling on eBay for a long, long time, but I was kind of in a niche where I was making $1,000 a month, which was fine because I had a full-time job and I was just doing it, to make $1,000 a month basically. And thought I was going to take care of my dad. So I kind of wanted to up my game, and watching those guys helped improve my game. I went from $1,000 a month to $3,000 a month for about a year. And then I jumped to $6,000 a month, like right before COVID, or right when COVID started. So, and I've been staying fairly consistent with that. Well, last month I did 10 grand. So that was pretty good for going my first month full time. So
kicking my butt.
I want to go back to the pizza thing. So the funny thing to me, one of the funny things to me is like Kayla was a person I talked to a lot on the boat. We ended up, her and Kevin, the Tennessee picker, the three of us were talking at the end of as the boat was getting ready to land. We ended up talking for a while, and Kayla didn't realize I was the pizza guy till like 6 months later. Like we've been talking about things, and it's like I think Pat maybe said something about me being the pizza guy, and Kayla's like, Larry was the pizza guy. I just thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's funny. Kayla's awesome. Yeah, that's funny.
Kayla, I love listening to Kayla talk. She just, I have a bunch of Southern relatives, and just, reminds me of my youth. So, yeah, it's great. And there's so many great people, that you met. I think the one thing which I think is interesting is people that I didn't get to meet that were there that I didn't really get to talk to.
Yeah.
But I've since become pretty good friends with, I think, and we've had a lot of communication. Richard, who is Ot Nip Droff. Which is Ford Pinto backwards.
Ford Pinto backwards.
I always describe it as Ford Pinto backwards. But anyway, Richard is a great guy. He helps Kat out on her channel when she does her shows. But Richard and I have communicated a lot. He's a great guy. Patrick Murphy's another guy that was at the show that I didn't really talk to there. And then Dawn from Two Hip Chicks, Dawn and Mary, both of them also. Really nice people that I had not really met, didn't have any good conversation with at the reseller rally. I saw them. Richard, I kind of just asked what his name was, and he told me it's Richard. So that was pretty much our conversations, but we were all there. There just wasn't enough time at it. That's my one complaint about the reseller rally. There was just so many people I wish I had more time to talk to. So
definitely was a great time for sure, Larry. It was great to have met you at the rally. Of course, you and I we talk off and on since then, since we had met there, and appreciate you stopping by and taking the time to kind of reminisce a little bit about the rally. So we are going to move along at this point. Got a lot of guests to get in, so good to see you. You got any final thoughts for us?
Joey Bada Bing was amazing. There was a kid there who had sold golf balls and got into being an eBay reseller. And he had been on what's the guy? He was been on a YouTube channel where he'd been interviewed, and I remembered him from there. And I was like, "Hey, you're the kid who fired your sister, right?" Dad's like, "Yeah." So we're like, and he's like, his dad's like, "Yeah, he wants to meet, famous resellers." And it's like, he said some people he'd met, and it's like, "Well, have you met Joey Bada Bing?" And it's like, "No." That was Joe said that. Joe said that to him. Have you met Joey Bada Bing? And he's like, "No." So me and Joe got Joey to come over, and he got that kid to do Joey's, let's go. So so Joey got this kid all excited and doing it. It was just pretty funny. It was one of my favorite parts of the reseller rally. Was Joey and the kid.
That's cool. I remember that little kid there that evening. It was a good time. So
it was awesome.
We're going to wrap it up, and Larry,
thank you, guys.
We will catch you around. We're going to link Larry's channel, Way Out One, down in the description. So check out his channel, see his videos. He's putting out great content on a regular basis. So we will catch up with you soon, Larry.
All right, guys. Bye-bye. Good seeing you. Good talking to you.
For sure.
Last but definitely not least, we wanted to end this show with a bang. A guy that's local to the Cincinnati area and one of my favorite YouTube channels of all time, Mike over at SHADJUICE. All right, guys, this is like a let's go moment for me. We got SHADJUICE. I just call him Shad, but Mike, it is so it's an honor for me to have you here, man. Like, I've been watching you forever. Obviously, I got to meet you at the rally. One of the favorite people I met there because I was just so honored to meet you. And tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to ask some questions about your experience at the rally.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Jimmy. It was really nice meeting you there, man. And I think we've become good friends ever since. We've been communicating back and forth.
Tell us a little bit about you. Obviously, your YouTube channel and some of your the social media stuff that you're doing, man.
I go by SHADJUICE on all the social media on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, of course. I mostly like to share what I find at garage sales. That's what I usually put on YouTube, which I've been slacking a lot. I got videos in the bank. I'm still out recording every week.
That's awesome.
I ain't been into editing
editing's what gets me too, man.
I hate it. I needed like a good program that's super simple.
Yeah, it's not easy to find. I don't know if it exists. If you find out, let me know.
Right.
So I want to go right into that. Like, there's other questions I want to ask about the rally, but the main thing, because you have a great eye. You look for at least in my opinion, because you look for the same stuff I do.
Yeah.
What would do you remember that week? Do you remember the best thing you found that week? Like, or did you get to source? Did you get to go out with somebody that you had, go sourcing with another reseller YouTuber? Or some of the cool things you
went
guys
out by
found?
myself. Actually, I don't even really remember what I found. I don't think it was nothing too crazy. Maybe
crazy.
A few little video games or something. But there was a community sale on my side of town. That's what I went to, and I think everybody else was going other places because I knew where I wanted to go because it was like an older neighborhood. That's where I like to go. And actually, it was just past weekend again. But
that's one of the questions that I like to ask people, find out where they came from to get to Cincinnati for the rally. Now you're a local guy right to there, so it was right in your neighborhood.
Travel far, about 10 minutes.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, right? Now, I wanted to ask you about maybe someone else found something out there that week that was pretty cool that maybe you have now. Do you know what I'm talking?
I was gonna wear that hat.
No, that's cool.
Nah, man, Jimmy found this awesome Bengals hat, came into my town, swooped it up, took it home. I was so jealous because I don't even find that cool, the Bengals hats around here. Every once in a while. Got my Bengals.
I was rooting for them, man. I was rooting for them for sure.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate that hat, dude. I love that hat.
Yeah, when I saw it, my jaw dropped. I couldn't even believe it. So through the magic of editing, now he's wearing the hat that I found. It's got the graffiti. What's the guy's name again on the hat? Oh, I forgot.
Old school flips, maybe.
Old school flips. That's too bad.
Look at that graffiti, guys. I love this hat. There's a Hurricanes hat, a Miami Hurricanes hat I've been looking for.
Yeah.
That's like graffiti on the front. It says Canes.
If you ever see
I love
that,
this hat, man, I appreciate you for sending it to me.
Yeah, when I saw you, you were the first person I thought of when I saw it. I think I even messaged you about it, right?
Yeah.
I was like, man,
I kept bugging you about it here and there.
Yeah. I had it on eBay, and I was like, you know what? And they were going to the Super Bowl and stuff, and I was like, man, this needs to belong. This belongs with Shad. Like, this is.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Really nice. You were nice enough. You bought one of my old school flip hats, and I was like,
dude, I'll tell you what, you got the best looking hat in the game, dude. That looks like it came off like a New Era line for real.
I appreciate that, man. Look at this. We got represent. Now Ken's gonna put on.
He's got different colors over there, huh?
Yeah, mine's a little faded. Mine's kind of.
Yeah, mine's just pristine. I never wear the piece of junk, actually.
No, but it was while we were there. Obviously, like I got to talk to you for a while. You and your wife. It was awesome meeting. Who are some of the people that you got to talk to that you really enjoyed getting to meet for maybe the first time or something like that while you were there at the rally?
Two of my favorites I met were, of course, Kevin. And then Matt at Part-Time Pickers.
Yeah, part-time.
Yeah. I really enjoy watching Matt's channel, man. He opened my eyes to so many different things I never really looked at before. So
same here, man. The knowledge.
So, that was two of my favorite people I met. I mean, I love meeting everybody.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember who I met. I run into people around here. Hey, I met you at the rally, and I have a hard time with names, man.
Me too.
If I ever forget anybody's name, it ain't on purpose. It ain't because I didn't want to remember you or something.
Now I want to ask some not reseller rally related so much, but like I know Shad has to do with your name, but how did you come up with the awesomeness of SHADJUICE? Like that's just
I explained this on Paul's live stream one night when I was on there, but do you remember the song Pimp Juice by Nelly?
Yeah, of course.
So Shad's my last name. Me and my wife, then girlfriend, was driving around, and which is now my wife. We were driving around listening to it, and I just changed the words like, "Hey, she only wants me for my Shad juice." That's awesome. That's simply where that came from, and it's kind of disgusting when you think about it, I guess. But.
No, it's awesome. I love it. I love your intro to your videos where you do the Michael Buffer. Everything about it, man, it's great.
Yeah, I just sparked in my head one day that idea because me and my dad used to watch boxing all the time growing up. So.
Yeah, so everybody go check out his videos. I mean, again, the stuff that he's finding is amazing. I love it.
And hopefully I have some new ones up soon.
Yeah.
I got plenty in the tank, I'll tell you that.
What would you say your best find of all time is? Like, I just have to ask these questions.
Like best find, like value wise, or that I
or maybe nostalgic wise.
The best find nostalgic wise was finding a Shogun Godzilla in the box.
Wow.
Complete.
Nice.
That was something that I had as a kid, and I really wanted to find it again, and it was just laying in the driveway in the box.
Wow.
And the guy said $50.
I was just...
And there was somebody there prior to me asking for video games. I'm like, and he didn't take the Godzilla?
Right? And Godzilla's, man, I know about Godzilla. That stuff flies off my shelves.
I've come across tons of games and stuff. That's probably one of my favorite finds because it was something I really wanted to find again.
Yeah. Ken just recently found a Voltron. Now, I thought it was the 81 for a second.
Oh, yeah?
Up there in Ohio, up in northern Ohio. But it's still the 90s one, and it's a really good one. And I was like,
nice.
That's what I was telling him. Like, that's something, the only other person I could think of that would find that would be Shad. Like, that's something he would find in one of his videos.
I'd definitely grab that if I seen it. And recently finding the Ghostbuster Firehouse at the thrift store for $1. Wow. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I have one of those.
That's stuff you got to follow me on Instagram for because I don't really do a lot of my thrifting on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to blow up every spot I go to, but some people do.
That's wise. That's why. I love your Instagram, by the way. I think I've told you that before. Your Instagram stories. You're one of the big influencers on me on there. Like, because of you, I learned stories and I started doing stories, watching what you were doing with stories. You probably saw
mine are very simplistic, but yeah, it's fun, man.
Some of mine are very similar to yours because I watched.
Oh, that's cool, man. You ain't the only one that's done that, which is cool. I like it.
Yeah, cool, man. I enjoy your content. Ken, did you have any questions for Shad?
Mike, I remember meeting you there at the rally. We really didn't get a big chance to talk.
Yeah, I
I'm
remember
also
seeing you there, man.
an Ohio guy myself, a little more north than what you are.
Okay.
Well, I'm in Browns territory, so
Uh-oh.
Sorry about your luck.
I didn't know we were.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, what I see a lot in all the chats and stuff like that. But that was one of those situations with the rally where there were so many people that you wanted to talk to, that you wanted to meet, and a lot of it was just, hey, I'm Mike, I'm Ken, hey, nice to meet you, and then you moved on, and then later on, as you progress through that with chats and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, I got to meet that dude.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was hard to talk to everybody,
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody was busy. Everybody wanted to talk to a lot of the bigger people that were there and stuff too.
I had a list of the people that I tracked you down. Kevin, Tennessee was one of the guys I really wanted to meet.
I tracked him down too. I've always liked watching him.
Yeah, he was a great guy to talk to because again, similar stuff that he's looking like. He's another one that I'm like, man, the stuff he finds.
Yeah, he's an expert, man.
Yeah,
he's
sure.
a jack of all
OG
trades.
expert.
I just hung around waiting for someone to track me down, so I was pretty lonely the whole weekend over in the corner.
It was really weird because I don't see myself as anything on YouTube, and people coming up to me that really like watching my channel and talking to me, that was just weird to me. But I enjoyed every second of it, man. It was really cool.
It's like a reverse moment where they say we're all just regular guys, and when people are coming up to I've had a couple people now. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm just a regular guy. Right. It's like a reverse moment.
I was walking out of Sam's Club one day and somebody was like, hey, SHADJUICE. I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
So weird.
It's well deserved though, because again, like I said, your content is really good. You're an OG. You've been doing this for a long time.
I appreciate you, man.
We really want to thank you for. Oh, I appreciate it, man. That means that means a real lot to me.
I was watching a video the other day.
I appreciate it, man.
Sweet.
We want to thank you so much for coming and taking this time and meeting up with us again a year later after the rally. We got a lot
Thanks for having me.
We're closing out the video with you, man. So, like we said, end it with a blast. End it with one of our.
Got to close out the guys that made it to the Super Bowl.
Let's go. Well, no, now the Broncos.
We didn't win, but
no, but we appreciate you so much. We're gonna continue to watch your content and. Hopefully, I get to meet you 127 sale time. I'm going that way. So I will be hitting you up.
Hey, I'll show you some spots. I know where the good neighborhoods are.
All right. I'll be hitting you up, man. I'm going to take you up on that.
Check out Mike SHADJUICE. Links down below.
Yeah, his link is down below. Hopefully this video gets a lot of views and we can get you some promotion. But again, not that you need it, because
we're actually hoping that you'll get us some promotion. We're going to use you for the thumbnail.
There's
and
that whole
everybody
reverse
go, hey,
thing again, right?
Shad's got a new video out, and then they'll get suckered in.
Then I'll probably put one out a month later, maybe. If you're lucky.
No, you're good, man. Again, we appreciate you, and that's going to be the end of the show. We'll probably close it out. Again, thank you, Shad, and
hey, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
So that was great. I hope that everyone enjoyed all those interviews. Definitely a big thank you out to everyone that participated. Of course, their links will be down below in the description. Go follow these folks. They are a wealth of information, not only on their YouTube channels, but also in person. If you ever get a chance to meet any of them, I can guarantee they're great folks. You know, everybody that I met was great. Well, almost everyone.
Almost. He's looking at me, folks. He's looking at me.
So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Reseller Clickbait Podcast.